seminar on dynamics in mineral sector for VIKSIT Bharat 2047. Good morning to our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Santosh Kumar Mahapatra, who is a retired IAS, invitees, delegates, authors, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to invite our chief guest, Mr. Santosh Kumar Mahapatra, Mr. G.S. Khuntia, President of SGAT, Dr. R.C. Mohanty, the convener of the seminar, Mr. Alok Bihari Panigrahi, Vice President of SGAT, on the stage for the inaugural session. Sir, please. Now I request for the presentation of the flower bouquet. Now I request Dr. R.C. Mohanty, the convener of the seminar, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning. Esteemed chief guest, president, distinguished guests, authors, members of SGAT, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege to welcome you all to this seminar and to introduce you with SGAT and the topic of today's seminar. SGAT has been working for last 40 years for mineral development, and today we have taken this subject because we feel it is very vital in the transitional moment of economic and industrial growth for us to contribute something as a thought process for further development. And many times we ask, should we take mineral sector as a whole or discipline wise from exploration to finished product, or each mineral wise topics to be taken into discussion? But we found, and we also accept, that all the mineral sectors are facing the same type of problems. Industries, mineral based industries as well, So it is better to have a holistic view. Holistic approach will be better suited for this development. And again, we saw mineral sector cannot be isolated because if the resources are not available or there is any constraint in resources or in the technical sphere or any raw material, other raw materials or finished product sale, it's a total mineral sector is being affected. Even if one sector or the other cannot be taken in isolation, maybe for some time, but the policy changes taking place in recent years have many impact, good or bad. Successfully, we are moving in the path of development of mineral sector for last 20 years. But still there are issues and concerns to be taken up so that for VIKSIT Bharat, if we really plan to grow financially, infrastructure-wise, development-wise, economy also, we have to look into holistic approach for the total development. There are some concerns which we have discussed. In the brochure also we have mentioned about it. We don't want to criticize or find anything anywhere, but I feel the deliberations of distinguished authors with the delegates and experts, it will be able to give us certain valuable suggestions which we can take it up in the subsequent period for the development of mineral sector. This is my hope. I wish you all success and seminar a success in anticipation of your better participation and support. Thanking you all, I end. Next question arises, why we have taken this mineral sector as a whole, and it is dedicated to Mr. B.K. Mahanti, who was the founder member. And he, from 1980, all along has been helped this institute, irrespective of his health, presents any problem, for last 39, 40 years. And he has led the society for various dynamic approaches for development. Maybe few I can just, I'm reading his, as it is dedicated to him today, I feel one or two aspects which he has led. You remember there was an issue of hexavalent chromide pollution starting from foreign countries to our India's people, those who are interested to go against the industry. We have fought, and even if with laboratory to end, we have sought that this issue is stopped. Similarly, in bauxite issues, many issues which have been against the development of industry, society has some contribution with public, press, and government intervention whenever required. I okay. I would suggest to have 1 minute silence in his honor. Okay. In the abstract volume, we have written about briefly about his contributions and support to SGAT and future.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. Now I would like to request our chief guest, Mr. Santosh Kumar Mahapatra, Mr. G.S. Khuntia, Dr. R.C. Mohanty, and Mr. Alok Bihari Panigrahi to light the lamp. Sir, please. Let's know a bit Let's know a bit about our chief guest, Mr. Santosh Kumar Mahapatra, who is a retired IS and advisor of Adani Group, formerly a member of the Indian Administrative Service of 1976 batch, Gujarat Cadre. Mr. Mohanty has served in a senior positions in the government and public sectors like Secretary, Industries of Government of Gujarat CEO, Gujarat Infrastructure Development Board, MD of Sardar Vallabhbhai Nigam, Limited and the chairperson of Paradip Port before he quit the government position to build a new port at Dhamra, Odisha, as a CEO of Dhamra Port Company Private Limited. Then, a joint venture of Tata Steel and L&T. The port has become operational in 2011 and was taken over by the Adani Group in 2014. Mr. Mohanty continued as a director of DPCL as well as the director of Odisha for the Adani Group till July 2015. Later, he took up a new assignment in the Adani Group as the first director and CEO of Adani Visingjam Port Limited, a company formed to build a new deep sea port at a Visingjam, Kerala under a concession from Government of Kerala. The company has since commenced construction and the port, which is going to be the India's first deep sea port, near the international trade route of transshipment of containers. Currently, Mr. Mohanty is the advisor on port and other project of Adani Group. Now, are you excited to know a bit about him? Now, I would like to request Mr. Chief Guest, Mr. Santosh Kumar Mohanty, to address the gathering. Sir, please.
I can understand your dilemma. There are so many Mahantis, including the late Mahanti that we are paying tribute to, that I have also become a Mahanti. I'm a Mahapatra, by the way, right? Um, Esteemed President of SGAT, the Vice President of SGAT, Mr. Panigrai, and the convener of this seminar, Mr. Mahanti. And esteemed audience, because I can see a lot of you in front of me are stalwarts of the mining sector, and I can merely share some of my thoughts with you. I'm privileged to be associated with this seminar, which is a, a kind of commemoration of the contribution of Mr. B.K. Mahanti to the mining sector in Odisha. I had a brief association with him when I was president of CII Odisha, and he was heading the mining panel at that time. So I had a number of discussions with him on the mining sector in Odisha. And this seminar itself is a fitting tribute to Mr. Mahanti. I don't have to tell this audience how important is mining to the country's economy and the concept of VIKSIT BHARAT that we are uh, going towards. It does sound a little unconvincing when somebody tells us that mining accounts for only 2% of the country's GDP. It may be because of the fact that although so important an activity, it is limited to only 4 or 5 states in India, which account for 90% of India's mining. But what is more interesting is that 4 out of these 5 states will add up to about 45%. And there is only one state which accounts for 45%. And that state is Odisha. And we are proud of the fact that we are discussing the future of mining sitting in the state which is the mega hub of India's mining. And at the same time, I must say there's nothing to be apologetic about the fact that mining is only 2% of India's GDP. It does look small if you compare it with Australia or South Africa, where it may be 10% or 15%. But look at our big neighbor on the north, sitting pretty with Confucian wisdom. They are not bothered about what percentage of contribution mining is to their GDP. There's no dearth of minerals there. If you talk of the critical minerals of the future, like cobalt, lithium, copper, or rare earth, more than 50% of the world's deposit is in that country called China. And even in iron ore, they have at least twice as much as we have in reserves. But they don't mind importing from us. Uh, well, there are many developed countries where mining is not a great contributor to the GDP. So what is important is um, that we should be proud of the fact that we in Odisha are having the country's largest deposit of mines. But coming to think of it, Odisha always had these minerals, but we didn't realize it, partly because of the freight neutralization policy, which didn't make the state having the minerals an attractive place for investment, and partly because of the other financial incentives out of it. It is only during the last 10, 12 years, it could be incidental or political or both, that we are realizing the fruits or the gains of having the minerals in the state. It is reflecting in the budget of the state, which for the first time has become a surplus budget. In fact, Odisha, many people raised eyebrows when Odisha said that we don't need a loan to build the metro project in Cuttack and Bhubaneswar because we have the money. And if you look at the accounts of the government, they have the money. And a lot of it is thanks to what you all are doing, that is mining, the royalty from mining, the premiums, the auction, all these have contributed to the financial comfort, the financial surplus of the state. But this is not the first time that mining is doing its magic to a budget. If you remember, a few years back, not few years, it could be 20 years by now, the Indian Railways suddenly declared that they have made a profit. And the minister in charge of railways was invited by management institutes across the world to share his story of how such a large loss-making organization called Indian Railways could become a profitable organization. And he very proudly said that Indian Railways was like an under-milked cow, and I, with my tradition of looking after cows, knew how to milk it. But the truth was that the only reason why, for the brief period of 2 to 3 years, the Indian Railways made profit was the windfall income the railways got out of a 1500 rupees per ton surcharge on iron ore which went for export to the various ports. And the exporters found that even after paying 1500 rupees per ton, which is 2 or 2.5 times the cost of transportation by railway, the freight by railway, they are still paying less than what they would if they take it by road. So they, without complaint, paid that 1500, and for a brief period, the Indian Railways made a profit, all thanks to mining, all thanks to one of the minerals. But yes, coming back to the 2% thing, why I said it's not important, because we are at a very different kind of point of time in the history of development, history of uh, world's economy, you can say. Call it crossroads, call it, as Mr. Mahanti said, a transitional stage, call it a turning point. This is a point at which we have certainly, finally, and almost with total consensus realized that there is a limit to how much we can exploit nature. We have finally realized that the glaciers have actually started melting more than they are freezing. We have finally realized that the sea level is actually going up, albeit slowly, and therefore we have to do something to stop this trend. And it has changed our whole way of looking at things. And everything is not as pessimistic as I said. There is also some amount of optimism which has, which has helped our new way of looking at things. For the first time, we have realized that what we used to call renewable energy is no more a lip service to something ideal, but it is real. It is not only affordable, it is also scalable. And a stage has come when we can actually have a target date by which the renewable energy can be the major source of our energy, and the fuel energy can become a minor source of our energy. And all these have added to a totally new way of looking at mining. It is no more important how much we are going to get by mining, how much more we are going to get by doing the mining. What is important is how much we can get out of what we are mining. And therefore, what has become important is how much we can reuse, how much we can recover from the tailings, how much we can recycle from the waste. And mining has become a kind of more circular than a linear activity. Giving the example of a circular activity, I bought a pair of jeans of a known brand, and there is a piece of paper attached to the jeans which said, don't wash it often. If you want it to fade, it will fade even if you don't wash it. Wear it as long as you can. Wear it for years, it will last. If you are tired of it, give it to somebody else. Don't throw it away. He will wear it. Wear it till it is torn, and there are some who like to wear it torn also. And when you stop wearing it, please give it back to us. We'll recycle it for respinning of yarn. And that is the example of a circular activity. And mining is first becoming a circular activity. It doesn't mean that mining is going to stop. The world population is growing, and by all reports, it is going to grow till the end of the century. And if the world population is growing, the demand for all that we get out of mines is also going to grow, and mining is also going to grow. But what has become important is to strategize. There are a lot of things have happened, and one of them is to make license more comprehensive, that you take a license, you can explore as well as you can exploit. I'm not very sure all of it is, I mean, this is my personal view, that that's the right way of doing things. If we are looking at sustainable mining, then we have to separate knowing about what we have from getting what we want to get. They have to remain separate, so that we know that we have so much of this and so much of that, but let's not mine it now. Let's mine it in 2060 or 2040. I mean, you have to strategize it if you want to conserve those resources, rather than giving a license to anybody who can explore it, can also exploit it. And a stage has come when strategy has become very important, when target is less important. When we talk of VIKSIT Bharat, that's a target, 30 trillion economy. So how much is mine? 500 billion. How much is employment? 25 million. Now all these targets can lead us on a path which is not the right path. Coming to, so mining in future, I suppose, will be more about how we mine it rather than what we are mining, how much we are mining. And we talk of artificial intelligence, we talk of robotics. Now, these are not mere talk. Now, I'll give you an example which is very far-fetched, which is very different from mining. I was talking to a surgeon who does successfully hip replacement through robotic surgery. So he said, my patient can stand up tomorrow after the operation, start walking day after tomorrow, start climbing the staircase the next day, and in 7 days he will be back to a very normal life. I said, how do you do that? And he said, well, it is a less invasive surgery. And I said, no, how exactly it is happening? Then he found me a difficult customer, so he explained. He said, look, in traditional surgery, you cut through the muscles to get at the place where you'll do the surgery. So you stitch it back, it takes time to heal, and to help healing, you plaster it, you bandage it. So by the time it heals, it becomes stiff. So you need another month to rehabilitate, to do physiotherapy. So it is a 2-month process. But here, the robot, and this is important, kindly listen to this, doesn't cut the muscles. It identifies the muscles, slits it apart. Please understand it. It doesn't cut the muscle. It slits 2 muscles apart, enters through the muscles, and does the job at the femur head. Right? And then it comes back. So the amount of injury I have caused is mainly the surface injury for getting inside. And that is healing very fast. So that is how he is able to walk after 7 days. And the patient did start having a normal life after 7 days. So what I mean, why I give you this example, it has nothing to do with mining. But please think it has something to do with mining. If we can, I mean, I'm talking something absurd, but they say creative thinking is thinking absurd. So I'm thinking absurd. If you can transport iron ore through a slurry pipe, why can't you mine iron ore through a slurry pipe? Is it necessary to remove a whole lot of, what do you call it, overburden? What is that soil you remove? Overburden. Now it is a burden for from the mineral point of view. But mind you, it is the lithosphere. It is the base of our environment. It is where trees grow. It is where animals graze. It is where birds nest. It is where human beings grow their food. And you are removing it, calling it overburden to do your mining. How can't we use robotics to minimize removal of overburden and mining through ways that we have never thought of doing? So this is where the future of mining is going to, and I'm sure you are the experts, you are going to present papers, and this is how you will take this seminar forward. I know I am disappointing you because I am talking so far more as an ex-bureaucrat and not as the person from a field of expertise that I have developed during last 2 decades of my career as a man of logistics and infrastructure and ports. I'm not going to talk of this. I'm sure some of you will talk about logistics, about evacuation, about, I can only say 2, 3 things. Locate wisely. Where you locate the steel plant is going to decide how much you have to move from where. Should it be near the port? Should it be near the mine? Please do a proper modeling and decide on the location. 2, please beneficiate before you transport. There is no point in transporting waste and impurities. And they are not the same thing. Waste minus impurities is wealth. So do remove that wealth out of the waste, but do it where the mine is. Don't send it to the port. Once you send it to the port, it will go into the sea. And of course, prefer waterway to railway to road, and yes, prefer slurry pipeline to all of these. With these 2 or 3 things, I can thank you for inviting me, be associated in this very useful seminar held at the right point of time here as a tribute to Mr. B.K. Mahanti. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Now I would like to request the President of SGAT, Mr. G.S. Kuntia, to deliver the address for the gathering.
Well, good morning to all of you. Respected chief guest in today's function, inaugural function, Sri Santosh Kumar Mahapatra ji, and dignitaries sitting in front of me as well as on the dais, and delegates from mining, steel and allied industries, our colleagues from SGAT, Society of Geoscientists and Allied Technologists, and all guests present here. As President of SGAT, it is my proud privilege to address such dignitaries present here in this All India seminar organized in memory of late Sri B.K. Mahanti, former Director of Mines and Geology, and he was also former patron of SGAT. This seminar is organized in memory of Sri B.K. Mahanti, former Director of Mines and Geology, Government of Odisha, past patron, who had dedicated his life for development of mineral sector of Odisha. What we are seeing SGAT today, in addition to his service as the Director of Mines in Government of Odisha, he has dedicated, he has nurtured this organization, he has conceived it, and step by step he has brought it to present shape from 1980 onwards almost 40 and odd years. So it has become a big think tank to government, and SGAT today is advisor to government of Odisha for mineral legislation and for mines development, as well as to government of India and to many other sectors. So I'll touch a little about this mining and about this seminar also. All will be one with me that this legislation impacting the mineral sector have witnessed lot of changes. Meanwhile, lot of reforms have been brought over since last MMRD, Mines and Mineral Development Regulation Act 1957. That is the Bhagavad Gita for mining, and this got amended in 2015. First it was amended through President of India Ordinance, and later on regularized through our Parliament policy. The mineral rights provided through now by auction it is done, keeping in view the National Steel Policy 2017, which has been announced by our present Prime Minister Sri Modi ji. The country is required to achieve 300 million ton of steel capacity and about 250 million ton of crude steel production by the year 2031. Almost another 10 to 12 years left. Further auction is no more confined to the notified minerals. Today, the Global Energy Forum is also in the midst of major transition for clean energy. We can no more produce the polluting power plants. Some non-polluting power plants had already come up in Odisha as well as in India. The efforts of an ever-expanding number of countries and companies to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions to net zero call for massive deployment of the wide range of clean energy technologies, many of which in turn rely on critical minerals such as copper, lithium, nickel, cobalt, rare earth, etc. So I'll just touch a little about the mining history. In 1956, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, decided by an act of parliament about the industrial revolution 1956. We are standing due to this policy today, and that empowers the core sectors like steel, mines, coal, power, railways, roadways, ports. All these should be developed in government sectors at a faster rate, because government has no shortage of money. Money will be invested. So what it has come by virtue of this policy only. And large number of public sector undertaking came up. I remember National Coal Development Corporation, National Mineral Development Corporation. I was attracted towards NMDC. From NMDC, I came to Steel Authority. I visited 4 steel plants, came to corporate office, and after my retirement also, I worked as independent director for 15 to 16 years in OMC as well as in NMDC. So all these fast growth came up through the public sector undertaking. So this new mineral policy 1990 came, lot of new changes were made in this new mineral policy, mining policy 1990. And then when Mr. Narasimha Rao was the Prime Minister at that time in 91, the industrial and economic policy, that is liberalized economic policy, that came up, National Steel Policy 17, that came up, and steel we know is the father of civilization, and coal is the mother of civilizations. My entire period, almost 60 years, 35 years in active service in mining sector and another 25 years for these private sectors after my retirement, etc. So in steel, since I spent my entire life in Steel Authority and in NMDC, we steel people, we used to tell that there is no survival without steel. Whatever, right from morning till night, whatever, whether we uh, wash our face or the tap we operate or the car we move or power plant, anything and everything, from morning till night, almost 11 times our hand touches steel. And without a mother, obviously no child can be nurtured. And coal is the mother. So these two has brought us the present level of these civilizations. So now is the time to take up further to go for a very high economy, $500 trillion. And that is why SGAT conceived this to develop these rare and critical minerals like cobalt, nickel, copper, lithium, etc., rare earth for development of renewable energy, electric vehicles, IT sectors needing large scale mineral processing. Now we need very large scale mineral processing because only low grade ores are there. We have to upgrade it to higher grade so that the productivity of aluminum sector or the blast furnace, a blast furnace when I joined Steel Authority, because I came through from NMDC, my jobs were transferred during Biju Babu's time. Two mines got truncated, Kiriburu, Magatpur, attached to Bokaro Steel. From there, I only collected transfer order from Bokaro to Bhilai to Durgapur, Raulkela and corporate office, etc. So there, and so this unless we carry out very detailed exploration and upgrade it, and so therefore in this 1.5 day seminar we have organized about 14 to 15 technical papers on these subjects. I am sure this will bring the organization and the country and the state and the country to this vision plan by 2000, say 2015 or sorry, to 2031, and the present Prime Minister is dreaming for VIKSIT Bharat in 2047. It will help in developing the VIKSIT Bharat. Hopefully this seminar is going to address the whole value chain in respect of the minerals which are most sought after by the mankind in today's and tomorrow program. So I take this opportunity to acknowledge the hard work done by our convener, Dr. R.C. Mahanti, and his team who are successful in organizing this mega event. I wish all success and strongly hope that the takeaway of this event are certainly going to guide all stakeholders, policymakers in particular, and responsible for sustainable mineral development of the country. Thank you for your attention and Jai Hind.
Now I would like to request Mr. A.B. Panigrahi, Vice President of SGAT, to propose the vote of thanks and conclude the inauguration session.
Good morning, everybody. On a rainy day, which was not expected earlier. Okay. I am extremely privileged to propose a vote of thanks on this seminar, which is being carried out on the memory of our beloved Sri B.K. Mahanti, our patron, and I see many of the faces who are quite known to him and who had great interaction with Mr. Mahanti. Our respected, revered chief guest, Sri Santosh Kumar Mahapatra, our President, Sri G.S. Kuntia, Dr. R.C. Manti, Convener, dignitaries of the dais, my colleagues from SGAT, media personnel, ladies and gentlemen. This is a befitting topic for our seminar, and our chief guest, Sri Santosh Kumar Mahapatra, has really thrown an insight to the mining industry with his enlightening talk. He has coined a new strategy, that is, mining is going to be a circular one. So circular one means practically it is zero waste. Whatever we mine will be reused, recycled, and then again there is nothing will be left out. And his thrust on critical minerals, self-sufficiency of budget of the government of Odisha due to mining contribution of mining sector, and the role of renewable energy is really enlightening for all of us. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us give him a big hand. Our president, all of us know, those who know Mr. G.S. Kuntia, a known personality, steel man. He has worked in the steel sector for more than 4 decades, and still enlightening us. I was asking, I said, sir, you look very young. He said, no, I am 85. I said, sir, you don't look like 85. You are still very strong. And Sri Kuntia gave us our president gave us a enlightening talk also on the entire status of the mining industry. Age is not a number. Age is simply a number. Our Dr. R.C. Manti, our convener, he has taken enough of pains to see to it the right from the conception till up till now. He has executed everything with precision. So we are thankful to you, sir, Dr. R.C. Manti, for organizing everything in a very methodical manner. My thanks are due to the other dignitaries who are present here, along with the guests, ladies and gentlemen, for making this seminar a success. We are really indeed thankful to you from the core of our heart. My colleagues from SGT, they have taken enough of pains. I was inquiring today in the morning till yesterday about 11:30 p.m. They are all doing the necessary arrangements. So we are thankful to you, all the colleagues from SGT. The media, we are really thankful to the media for their presence here. So with this, I believe that the deliberations during the seminar will be of great interest to everybody. There are very interesting papers, and particularly I was seeing one of the papers where the BHJ processing will be, this is going to be a game changer, the BHJ processing which will be taken up by Lloyds. Let us hope that it will become a successful project. They are taking, I think, on the process of environment clearance. There's a few more interesting papers also, and I wish a great day ahead today and as well as tomorrow. And thank you very much, everybody, for your kind presence. Thank you.
I would like to request Mr. Dr. R.C. Mohanty, Mr. G.S. Kuntia, and Mr. A.B. Panigrahi to present a memento to Mr. Santosh Kumar Mahapatra.
When I was in Bhubaneswar plant, some of my neighbors, they called me because in Odisha, anybody from Odisha, available outside Odisha, either known as Manti or these two countries are most popular almost world over. And our chief guest, he's quite intimate to me, and he has constructed 3 ports. First, he came to Paradip port. From 13 million ton traffic, he brought it to, I remember, 48 million, because mining bala, we are only ultimately wagon counter or the tonnage bala. So he brought it to 48. From there, late Ratan Tata was attracted to his caliber, and he was brought to the joint venture, that is L&T and Tata's, that is Dhamra port. That also he completed in time. Then that was taken over. That was taken over by Mr. Adani. So Adani also put him in Veranjam at Kerala port. That also he has commissioned. He is a port expert. That is why, in all fitness, SGAT decided he is the right man.
Now requesting all of you to join for the high tea arranged in the adjacent hall. Technical session 1 will start at sharp 11:30 a.m. All are requested to join the session. Thank you.
All are requested to come to their seats, please, and maintain silence. We will start the technical session 1. Please come to the seat. Yeah. We are now starting the session. Please.
Welcoming you all back to the technical session 1. The theme of this session is mineral resource, plan, future projection and action taken to meet the future demand. Now I request Dr. Asi Mohanty, the chairperson of the session, and the speaker, Mr. Joesh Bagchi, Mr. Arun Kumar Rath, Mr. Sadashiv Samantrai, and Dr. Sambhu Jha to come over the stage.
My PPT? Yes.
Sorry, I don't know. I'm not dealing with this laptop.
Okay.
Shall I call him?
No. It's there.
It's there? Okay, fine. I would request Dr. Mohanty, the chairperson of the session, to preside over the session. Sir, please. I would again repeat, Dr. Mohanty, the chairperson of the session, to preside over the session.
The session, technical session 1 starts. And about the speakers, I start. Yes, Bakshi, he will be the first speaker. He is IIT Geology from Bombay, and also doctorate from Bombay, and he is Additional Director General, GSI. And we had requested and have the privilege now to know the resources as on today, or how we were progressing ahead to assess the resource potential for the future, which is one of our major issues to start with the industrial planning, development, etc. Please, Mr. Bakshi.
Hello, okay. Humble tribute to late Vikamanti. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here. Yeah, just hold on. This is the one. No, ठीक. Sri R.C. Mohanty and other dignitaries on the dais and esteemed dignitaries of the dais. Well, I'm supposed to speak on existing mineral exploration scenario in Odisha, Eastern India and its future prospective initiatives by GSI. Well, it's a mouthful. And to speak about the geology and resources of Odisha in front of an audience, which includes stalwarts of geosciences from GSI, including one ex-director general from GSI, it's like bringing coal to Newcastle. It's super plus. And what I will do instead, I will talk about what GSI has plans, or GSI is doing, so that we are able to comprehensively explore the country for all kinds of minerals, including critical minerals. Mr. R.C. Mohanty asked me to speak a bit about critical minerals as well. So this includes all minerals, including critical minerals. And I must say the government of India has come out with a list of 30 critical minerals, which actually is 50 because it has a group of REs and PGE. So if you have all of them together, very few minerals are remaining which are not critical. So if you talk of minerals per se, it actually is talking about critical mineral as well. So having said that, I will generally talk in these three formats. I will stick to 20 minutes. I've been told that I have to stick to 20 minutes. So I'll just give you a pan-India baseline and exploration status by GSI, then mineral exploration efforts by GSI, and then Odisha's mineral exploration scenario and initiatives by GSI. So this is the geological map. I don't need to talk about it much, but only one issue is there, that we have mapped the whole country, almost the whole country. Very few teeny stuff is remaining, which we are doing inching our way because of the inaccessibility. About 3.1 million square kilometers of the total area of this country of 3.2 million square kilometers has been mapped on 1:50,000 scale mapping. We have also mapped quite a huge amount of area in 1:25K scale. So, but this is the base map which I think all explorers use for their own planning their programs. We have also mapped a substantial part of the country by geochemical mapping, which is that 62 elements from stream sediments and slope fast sediments. 62 elements have been analyzed to the Clark level, crustal level, and those data is available for everyone to use. Most of the country has been mapped, and by another, except the alluvial part and the Thar Desert. Thar Desert will not be doing, alluvial part will do in a broader grid. So that will complete, say, within 1 year or two. Hard rock terrain, we have almost completed except the inaccessible areas. We have also done national geophysical mapping, which includes ground gravity, ground magnetic, and these two, ground gravity and magnetic, which we almost covered all of the hard rock terrain except the Deccan traps, which we are doing now, which we'll be covering within 2-3 years more. So that also is ready and includes all of the area. This both NGCM and NGPM includes all of the area which is to be done for Odisha as well. Besides this, we have also taken up aerogeophysical mapping program, which actually is taking a flight with radiometric, aeromagnetic and radiometric data at a flight height of 80 meters with a line spacing of 300 meters. Very high resolution data. No other country, I must say, has this kind of high resolution aerometric data with this kind of line spacing. So in that way, GSI in India is way ahead of the rest of the world. So this was ambitious project taken up by Government of India, GSI, with the help of Government of India. So you see there's the area in Odisha is apparently blank. It is because Odisha is a pioneer. Odisha is a state which started aerogeophysical mapping way ahead, much before than we ever even thought about it. So they had completed a substantial part of, I think, under the leadership of the then Biju Patnaik Sahab. It was an ambitious project taken up with in association with Geoscientists Australia. So that data is also there. So that's why it's looking blank here, but actually they've done it much earlier with the same line spacing and the same flight height. So just imagine 1970s and 80s, a country, I think 90s, I'm sorry, they have done with a thing which we have not even dreamt of before. And rest of the area, which is in the southern part of Odisha, which is blank, apparently blank, because the government is going to take it up themselves. So therefore, GSI has been asked to cut that area out because they will do it themselves. So the Odisha is that way a pioneer in many ways regarding this aerogeophysical mapping. So this also we have completed, and we will be completing within 5-6 years the whole country. Why is it important? Why is this kind of, NGCM, NGPM, and this aerogeophysics, why are they important? Because as of now, the hard rock terrain is mostly extensively, and all of our veterans who are sitting here, they've mapped it well. Whatever signatures are available on the surface has more or less been identified. All high-grade deposits which were near surface or on the surface has more or less been targeted. What do we do? Occurrence of now all the mineable deposits with surface manifestations have more or less been delineated. This is the status now. I think this status more or less all of us agree, except some discoveries are yet being made, which are chance discoveries, which are peripheral, not big ones. Now what do we do now? In this, for going deep, we need to have signatures of chemical signatures and geophysical signatures, other signatures as well, isotopes and geochronological data to model for geological concept with this kind of indirect evidences will allow you to develop a hypothesis which needs to be tested. So this is the basic approach the world over. It's not only in India, this problem is faced everywhere in the world. And then data integration and using statistical, geostatistical, multivariate statistics and the new emerging technologies of AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning is all being used world over. GSI has also has made forays into this field. This is the scenario, as I told you, that it is a fact the world over this problem is there, that discoveries are becoming deeper. No more shallow discoveries. No substantial big deposits are being discovered near the surface. It's becoming deeper and deeper for big ones. And for going deeper, you must have indirect evidences of chemistry, of isotopes and geophysics, gravity, magnetic and MT surveys and all other geophysical signatures. They should converge to one possible target and then test that target. This is the method which the world over is practicing. We also realize that this is the only way out if you really want to have discovery deposits which are substantial. Now, these are the emerging methodologies. We have aerogeophysical maps, we have ground geophysical maps, geological maps, geochemical maps, geochronology and stable isotope maps, and then use mineral system approach with fertility. Fossil fertility, you have a geodynamic structure of this whole country. The crust is not uniform, we know that, because the geodynamics is involved. Some part is more potential, some is not. So we have fertilities and dynamics, geodynamics and preservation potential is different in different spaces. We identify those, add them all together, develop methodologies of integrating them through various statistical methods or AI and ML, and then come to a target. This is the approach what GSI is now converging in. And by the way, all the data which GSI is till now acquired, this all NGCM, NGPA, and all are there in public domain for everyone to use. The new approach is that we are expecting that 1,000 flowers will bloom, so that many private explorers will come forward to find their own targets, devise their own methods of exploration with the data which GSI has produced till now. That is data which has been produced with government expenditure, and we expect everyone get used to it as a public good, just like a road is constructed for everyone. So we have acquire this data for everyone to use. I will just give you some few examples that GSI has done using this data. Traditional exploration, there are many people here who are experts and greater experts than I think the country knows. There are ex-DGs also there, and there are many of them are big experts, including Padisa, who is here with us. So I don't need to go into traditional mode of exploration, but the exploration which this indirect evidences have given rise to now, which we are focusing, is I will just give you some examples. This one example was straightforward NGCM data, national geochemical data. We saw a huge amount of anomaly in zircon. Now, zircon is one element which only 99%, 96% of that is in a zirconium is one element which is considered in zircon. Now, zircon is as you said, is a critical and strategic for us. So we just had an area which we saw the high value of zirconium, which is more than 3,000 ppm. It targeted the areas hypothesis was it is a concentration by inland placers. So we saw the geological domain. It appears to be congenial for our inland placers. So we accordingly made an hypothesis and tested it out. So how do we test it? We go through the places where a placer deposit can form, island bars and side bars and all kinds of channels. There are many channels there, and just sampled it well, thickness of it, and separate out the heavy minerals, and we could actually establish the resource of zircon. Just plain from NGCM data, which all of you can try. All of our data is there. The many such simple analysis of the NGCM data can lead you to good resources of minerals, including critical minerals. There's another one which we have tried, just an example, where we have used geophysical data, primarily geophysical data. So this is one place which is barren. It's plain quartz sandstone of Indians. Nothing is there. But our aerogeophysical magnetics showed two anomalous circular anomalies. Now, circular anomaly in the Vindhyans, which is post Kaimur, we know it has many kimberlite pipes have come about in that time, just after the Kaimurs, before the Riva. So our hypothesis was that, and we modeled it. The gravity and the magnetic anomaly, we modeled it, and there's a possibility of two pipes. Actually, they're converging at depth, two pipes of a kimberlite or lamproitic pipe. So we modeled it, and then what do? We did a empty survey on that, did a closed place gravity, and focused and developed a geometry of that body, and then targeted it with drilling, and we could intersect it. We have actually intersect this pipe. Whether it's diamond difference or not, the work is still going on. This is another example where we have used geophysics, geochemistry, and geology. This is plain land, nothing. It's alluvial terrain. Alluvial terrain, just plain nothing, no rock exposure even. So this is an area, but our NGCM data showed there's a anomalous value of nickel and copper. In alluvial terrain in UP, if you have an anomaly of nickel and copper, well, we need to find out why. An anomaly is such that is beyond the UCC level, upper crustal concentration level. It's difficult to explain. And we also had the geophysical data, NGPM and our gravity and magnetic data. There we saw there's a possibility of a ultramafic body at depth. So we modeled it again. Using the value of nickel and copper, we used the statistical data, we've developed factors. We saw it is geogenic, it is not anthropogenic, by using multivariate statistics like factor analysis. Once we know it's geogenic, we only have to plot it and contour it and identify the locales where we go for more precise and more concentrated geophysical data acquisition. We did that, modeled it, and we realized there is a ultramafic body at depth. Now we developed an exploration program. Now it's going on, but we have now got evidences through groundwater that this area where this body is there is a possibility, there is a high concentration of nickel and copper in the groundwater as well. So we are now targeting it. Now once we have the target with our geophysics, we'll go for a drilling. And this is another. Based on aerogeophysical mapping, we saw there is an anomaly of magnetics, where in the contact of intrusive granite and the Mahakoshals, and we know Mahakoshal is also calcareous, there is a high magnetic contact. Now, our hypothesis was that it is a possibility of a skarn deposit. So we did closed space magnetics, and we actually could find out that the anomaly is following the contact of this. and we develop the depth at which the contact is there and the high magnetic body is there. Now we have identified the geometry of the body. Now this year we're going to drill it. So these are the few examples of where we do not much sophisticated, pure statistics, a bit of Oathis montage, bit of geophysics. We can actually identify a target and test it with our drilling and test it with more concentrated or more high resolution geophysical data acquisition. Now this is separate. Now this one which I'm showing we did in Rajasthan. Now this is one of the emerging technologies. We have used all our data sets, geology, drill hole, exploration data, NGCM, NGPM, aerogeophysical, all of them together to develop a model for targeting using AI and ML. Now AI ML, we have used two. One is your random forest and other is a CNN probability map. I will not go into the tricky intricacies of it. One is based on decision tree and one is based on unsupervised classification. But both have given, we have selected out only those anomaly which both of them are given, are shown. So we have actually targeted two. You can see two blocks are there. I don't know whether it's visible or not. There are two square and round block is there near the southwestern quadrant. There are two blocks. Now we are testing it. We are drilling it, and one of the drills have intersected, I am told, by sulfide mineralization. So we are possibly on track. So this is what we are doing. This is new emerging technologies which we are using besides the normal, LSM, large scale mapping and pitting and trenching, which our discovery rate is decreasing. We know not only it's true for India, but true the world over as well. So now we go more and more into we are hoping for a day when we only take a very sophisticated targeting from GSI and the normal routine exploration will be done by private enterprise. That is the government strategy, and we think that will possibly be useful to us. That is the world over also. Geoscience Australia also does the same thing. But however, having said that, as we all know, that auction regime has started from 2015, and I think Odisha is one state which is the most beneficent of the auction regime. In terms of state revenue, I think the amount of revenue which the state is earning because of the auction regime is immense. As I was told in the inaugural session itself, the budget has become surplus just because of this auction regime. The premium that you're earning in Odisha, I think, is an example for all other states that you can actually earn huge amount of money from mining just by auctioning, which was earlier not being done. Anyway, but auctioning has a flip side for us. We have to develop blocks for auctioning. As of now, the private sector has not come out so much in numbers so that they can develop blocks. As of now, the onus is on us and MECL and state government, state DGMs to develop blocks. So because of that, our exploration program, you see, is like increasing exponentially. In the days of Padi Saab, he's here. In the days of SC Rath Saab, I think we used to take about 100 programs. Now we are taking some 500 programs. So just you can imagine, the 5 times number is same. The number of officers are same. Everything is same. Number of vehicles have decreased, but the number of programs that GSI is taking has taken a huge jump, quantum jump, from 100 to 500. From 2021 itself, you can see the number is jumping. But if you take it from, say, way back to 2010, it was say about 80, 90, 100 programs of exploration. Now we are taking about 500. So I will just rush through Odisha because I don't think I need to tell about Odisha because there are a lot of stalwarts here. But Odisha, one thing I want to pinpoint regarding the covered terrain of Odisha. You see the map, outcrop and the covered ratio is about just 35% is hard rock. Rest is all covered. Now for covered terrain, exploration again is a challenge for which you require indirect evidences, primarily require, besides the geological understanding, require geophysical data, geochemical data, which will give you some signatures of what is the depth. So this is the challenge for Odisha. If not now, in the near future. So for that, as I told you, we have all the data in the public domains. People can use it and develop models. And I've been told OMC has actually engaged a consultant, so an Australian consultant, to analyze this NGPM data, and they have identified a huge deposit of iron ore. Now they're testing it. If it really turns out to be true, then Odisha might become an iron ore powerhouse. if it turns out to be true, because these are still non-unique solutions. Geophysics has this problem. So Odisha's contribution, I don't need to say, is huge. So I think one of the, as already been said, 45% of the total is Odisha, of the first 5. So all these elements, chromite, nickel, possibly only in Odisha, and then graphite, and then VTA and magnet. There's major chunk of these things only in Odisha. And if you see the mineral production in 2024, 46% in Odisha. So Odisha is that way. It is very important for this meeting to be held in Odisha, because Odisha is that way the center, and they have been pioneers in many things. The aerogeophysical mapping program started in Odisha. That was a visionary approach of Biju Patnaik, and then subsequently now after 2015, actually the returns are coming to show that what is important in Odisha is really the huge amount of budget. So if India is targeting for 2% of the GDP to be from mineral sector, Odisha can be an example. Not only 2, it will be much more than 2% in Odisha itself. So again, these are some statistics of Odisha itself. So I don't need to go into it. Odisha is the front runner in mineral production, in value of mineral production, as well as the revenue that the state government has earned. Now, GSI has, as I said, increased the number of scientific programs from 46 scientific programs in baseline and mineral exploration, 33 mineral exploration projects of G2, G3, and G4, which is meant for auctioning. 5 are those, state-of-the-art mineral discovery projects called regional mineral targeting program, where you use all kinds of data, integrate them with various methodologies to come to targets which to be tested subsequently in G4. Then we have initiated another called critical mineral assessment program to check out the laterites, where the laterites, their concentration of critical minerals are there, nickel and many, vanadium, gallium, scandium. So that is being tested the countrywide. So Odisha has taken up quite a number of programs on CMAP, the critical mineral assessment program on laterites. And then this mineral prospectivity mapping. This is again the sophisticated usage of many layers of data for targeting specific minerals. This is just the commodities which we are doing. We have 1 in gold, 5 in copper, manganese and iron ore. Odisha still remains a powerhouse for iron ore and manganese even in the Eastern Ghat mobile belt, and copper in the Singhbhum belt. And then this is the major items which we have taken. Besides those CMAP and that regional mineral targeting program, which is for many commodities. We have handed over many for auctioning. I don't know how many of them in auction, but it's quite a few, 45, I think, blocks have been auctioned in Odisha. So many of them are from GSI. So we handed over so many of them, so we expect 28 we handed over. That is for the G4 term, which is meant for CL and ML. And also we have handed over, this is success of 48, yeah, okay. We also handed over memorandums, which is meant for the new scheme that has come over so that you can auction at the G4 city itself. Now these are some of the discoveries which we have made. These are still not substantial. We would like to make discoveries that are bigger, much bigger in scope, size. So this is not big in size, which we expect to do. So these are one of the few of them. The Bola Naushahi chromite and the PG deposits of Bola Naushahi, and the iron ore, we get augment one of them. The mineral awards in iron ore has come from Odisha. And then bauxite and manganese. Resource augmentation we have been doing in iron ore, mostly in iron ore and coal and others as well. Gold, graphite, nickel, copper, manganese. Every year we're doing it. The coastal tracts of Odisha appears to be barren, but we have huge sources of heavy minerals. Heavy minerals are rich in RE as well. RE is critical for us. RE, titanium, both are critical mineral for us. So the coastal tracts of Odisha holds huge resource potential. That also GSI is targeting. And many NPAs, the private agencies, are also targeting this coastal tracts, which are rich in heavy minerals, which are rich in critical minerals. This is some of the recent findings. I don't want to go into that. It will be there in my paper. Also is there. These are the few targets which were identified using NGPM, aerogeophysical, all this stuff, we are doing close plate helibound surveys, helibound EM, so that we can slowly target, constrain it with another source of geophysical data so that we can be more precise in our targeting with drill holes. This is one of the final geophysical methods we are doing for a very close place helibound survey. And then we interpret all of them together to identify blocks for follow-up action. So these are the key initiatives, free access. So one NGDR, I don't know how many of you have seen the NGDR portal, which is, all of you must actually register it there. All our data, not only GSI's data, data from all organizations, from all the DGMs in the country, including Odisha, have their data there on the NGDR portal. You have just to register there. You can download in a geospatial format, in shape files, use it the way you want to, and use it the way for targeting your own deposits. All of you, the private agencies, the DMGs, everyone. It's free for everyone to use it. Just to access it, all our data, the geological data, geophysical, geochemical, all our data is there. Our data as well as the data that we have got access from all the DGMs and many private agencies, we have put it there. And it is there for everyone to use. And after that, use it the way you want to. We are using with various statistical, multivariate statistics, then geostatistics, and also AI and ML. As I showed you, every region we have taken up one program for AI and ML. So we have initiated that for the last 2-3 years. I invite all of you, try your luck, because this is, if you try 1,000 such prospects, possibly 10 of them will be mineable. So mining, exploration is a risky business. Exploration is creative. The deposit should be in your head first before it is really explored. So it depends how young people can really creatively use the data and develop their own hypothesis. Thank you very much. I'm open to questions. If you can ask, I'm ready to answer.
No, actually, time is short running.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So discussions are at the last, depending upon the time. And we have got many questions to be asked on this issue, because about the blocks, we are not sure how much we are going to actually succeed, find out resources. And there are, if time permits, we will continue. Now we know that if geology has proved something, it is our ancient people, those who have done the chula of iron ore wearing laterites and extracted steel. Technology is developing. Steel plants are coming. But the people of the industry mines, they should get the real benefit. And next, my Mr. Arun Rath, who was CEO in Bhilai and Gabor and Steel Authority, he has come back now in AMNS. He is the brownfield chief in Odisha, particularly the expansion projects and also existing projects which have been taken over by them. I request him to.
ଓ ଆର୍ଥିକ ଦୃଷ୍ଟି ଆମ ସହିତ ଜଡ଼ିତ ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ଜୀବନ ଧାରଣ ମାନରେ ପ୍ରଭାବିତ ସେମାନଙ୍କୁ ଶିକ୍ଷା ଦକ୍ଷତା ଓ ସମ୍ଭାବ୍ୟ ସୁଯୋଗର ସଠିକ ଉପଯୋଗ ପାଇଁ ସମର୍ଥ ଇସ୍ପାତ ଉତ୍ପାଦନ କ୍ଷମତା ଓ ପ୍ରଯୁକ୍ତି ବିଦ୍ୟା କ୍ଷେତ୍ରରେ ଦୀର୍ଘସ୍ଥାୟୀ ପଦକ୍ଷେପ ଅତ୍ୟାଧୁନିକ ଉତ୍ପାଦନ ପ୍ରଣାଳୀ ଏବଂ ଲାବୋରେଟୋରୀ ସ୍ଥାପନ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ଉତ୍ପାଦନ କ୍ଷମତାରେ ଉଲ୍ଲେଖନୀୟ ବୃଦ୍ଧି ନୂତନ ଯୁଗର ଏବଂ ଉନ୍ନତ ମାନର ଉତ୍ପାଦ ଯୋଗାଣ ମାଧ୍ୟମରେ ନୂତନତ୍ୱ ପାଇଁ ପ୍ରତିବଦ୍ଧ ଆମ ଗ୍ରାହକଙ୍କ ଉପରେ ଦୀର୍ଘସ୍ଥାୟୀ ପ୍ରଭାବ 5 ବର୍ଷର ନିର୍ମାଣ ସୃଜନ ସଶକ୍ତିକରଣ ନେତୃତ୍ୱ ଅଭିନବତା 5 ବର୍ଷର ସ୍ମାର୍ଟ ଇସ୍ପାତ ଓ ଉଜ୍ଜଳ ଭବିଷ୍ୟତର ପ୍ରଚେଷ୍ଟା 5 ବର୍ଷର ଆର୍ସେନିକ ମିତ୍ତଲ ନିପଲ ଷ୍ଟିଲ୍ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ
Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. Tribute to late Sri B.K. Mahanti. Sri R.C. Mahanti on the dais, Sri Joyce Bagchi, which I just listened and got a lot of input. Mr. Sadasiv Samantrai, CEO, Kabil, and Mr. Jha, who GM from MCL. I mean, I feel at home today because after coming to Bhubaneswar in 2019, this is the first time I am across, I am looking at people who belong to this mineral sector and this geoscientists and all these mineral experts. And today, as I am in Odisha and in Bhubaneswar, I'll be configuring my talk based on Odisha. And as I am a customer of all of you, because you produce the ores to be used by us, the steel makers. So I'll be talking about the perspective of the steel builders or steel makers to you, addressed to you, and what is expected from you as you are mineralogist, as you produce the iron ores, as you make it available to us, until unless it is converted to steel or used to develop or the growth of the economy of the whole country or the state, I mean, the cycle is not getting complete. So my objective is to give the perspective of a steel maker and how do the steel maker looks at you and how they look at the state and the system so that they can build their steel plants and subsequently be the part of the growth. As a mineral, when Odisha came, I mean Paradip port came, and a lot of mines are getting explored. Just 2 years, 3 years back, I was in a seminar here. When the Japanese ambassador was here and he started talking, that I am grateful to Odisha because you gave us the iron ores. And we built Japan. We did not have any iron ores with us, but you gave the iron ore. So iron ore which you are producing, and we have built a port in Paradip basically to transport the iron ore outside. I mean, we are producing the iron ore. It is getting converted in some other country and building their economy much speedier than what was happening in the state who is having all the resources. We did not have that technology or capital, all the entrepreneurship with us. I spent my almost 27 years in Rourkela Rourkela started with 1 million ton, and you see what exactly Rourkela has happened with 1 million ton of steel. What a beautiful city, society it has given to Odisha. Steel plants build societies, bring prosperity, bring industries. A steel plant cannot survive without associated industry. And this is the conversion which you are lacking earlier, which is getting converted now slowly, and all the people are in Odisha to take advantage of our resources and converting it in Odisha and participating in the growth of Odisha. Basically, I will be talking on that. So to make a context, already Mr. Bakchi has made a context of mineral thing, but some of the slides which I have collected, I will use. The data accuracy will be with Mr. Bakchi. I don't, claim the accuracy because it is the geological society who should have the accuracy of the data. So when I am looking at Odisha, it is becoming #1 steel producing state in India, beating Jharkhand at 17.094, and we have become 23. It's all because of all of you putting your ideas and intellect and wisdom to see that the iron ore is available to the steel makers. And when I'm talking of, I have been told there are almost 2,000 million ton of reserve iron ore mines is waiting to be auctioned as on today for a short-term opportunity. But there is huge long-term iron ore opportunities in Odisha, and I have been told that 9.7 billion ton of iron ore reserve in Odisha at present. This is almost I have collected from government yesterday only. So apart from that, you see the minerals, I don't have to talk to you people because you are more expert in this statistics and what exactly resources are available as far as iron ore, coal, bauxite and chromites are concerned. When we are talking of, Mr. Bakchi talked about that Odisha has prospered because of auction of iron ore. It is because of the transparencies and the policies which are made in Odisha. I have also worked in other states. I have seen for last 4 years I am looking at Odisha. The system which has been developed here is actually responsible for making the auction possible because people are able to come and participate in a very transparent way. And you see how the auctions are increasing. What exactly is happening in growth in iron ore production? Almost FY22, it is 147. It has touched 147. So this is the story as far as availability of iron ore in Odisha. And it has attracted people now. A company like ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel, who was operating at Europe, America, and Japan, is coming to Odisha to make almost as a dream of 40 million ton, with a vision of 40 million ton. Is coming. Why? Every player, steel players are here. Why? Because they are able to see, and as far as our capacity, installed capacity at present, we have got almost 41.21 capacity, million ton capacity in Odisha, and we are almost signed MOUs of 140 million ton with 85 in brownfield and 45 in 85 and 55 in the greenfield. It's a brownfield area expansion. This is already signed. So what exactly you are talking is a huge explosion of industry. I mean, the basic thing is that we are going to see a revolution in steel making in Odisha in a much bigger way than when we talk of industrialization. The scale is going to be very high, and all the projects are mega projects. It's not a small project. The investment of every project is crossing almost 20,000 crores. Single project is crossing more than 20,000. What amount of money which is getting invested, and the investor is getting attracted towards Odisha. Let's see why. If you see, Odisha is consistently growing above the national average. people have also watched us, how speedily we have recovered from Corona. Odisha is one of the states which has recovered from a crisis like Corona very fast. When an investor select a state, he looks at the long-term perspective and the capability of the state and capability of the administration. We have got industrial land which is getting subsidized. We have water and we have got power. And you see the technical skilled people available with us. You see the number of engineering colleges which you are having, number of ITIs and diplomas which you are having. It almost attracted people from other states to come to Odisha and study. How much technical skilled people, when we are going to have a project here of that size, we look at whether the skilled people are available or the most of the, if you go any state, if you go to any state and see the skilled manpower working in a steel plant, you find all of them are from Eastern Bloc, mostly Odisha. When I go to Hazira, our plant in Gujarat, I look at when I visited the place, I see many of the people from Odisha approaching me. I mean, this is the skill level as far as Odisha is concerned. So we have not only have huge resources, we have also skilled our people, and now the skill initiative which is taken by, if you go to World Skill Center or any of the skill centers, you find what exactly is happening, how much skill is getting developed. We have, we had Paradeep now, Dhamra, Gopalpur, Subarnrekha, so many ports are getting developed. And the cost of, when you make a mega project like steel plant, the highest cost which you look at the investor is the logistic cost. When we have developed ports, now we are in a process of developing inland sports in the river, waterway logistics. So these are the things which are attracting the investors to put the money, because not only the ore is available, you get the power is plenty. And from our experience of making a project, we are able to see what exactly is available in Odisha. And these are made, when these are made available to an industry, otherwise, what is going to happen? We still produce iron ore. It has to go to a place when all other things are available. It cannot be processed. Even if you have got all the ores here, it has to go to some other place, because we cannot give the support system to make a steel plant to be processed in the state. And when we talk of processed in the state, what we are talking of employment, we are talking of skill level increase, we are talking of ancillary industry, we are talking of many things. Forget about the steel plant. A steel plant, just look at Raurkela, what has been done into that hilly place. These are more of the things are happening in Anugul or Jharsuguda. Things are developing because the steel major mega projects have come to that place. Last year, we produced 167 million tons of iron ore, out of which we used 81 million tons internally, sold 51 million tons outside state, and exported 20 million tons. This speaks. If you are going to auction the mines, if you are getting the iron ore, our objective in Odisha should be how much we are going to process in the state. That otherwise, it is going to only, selling something outside as a raw material, not getting benefit out of that. Now, all the national and international steel companies are interested in building steel plants in Odisha. Some of the things, when they come, they see the raw material, they're the skilled people. It's a very capital intensive project. And the gestation period is also high. You cannot just, IT company, you cannot just make things available. Like if you have got a mines, you require a lot of time to develop the mines and bring it to a level. Same thing with steel plant. There are so many things has to be connected. The power has to be there. Water has to come from river. The logistics has to be there. Where from you? If you make a 10 million ton steel plant, 30 million ton of raw material has to be transported. So much of logistics are involved. Until unless the state which wants to be developed, which wants to take benefit of the raw material, develop such type of resources, I think the steel plant or a mega project is not possible or cannot be sustained in a long term. So what exactly I am looking at? I will be looking at some pain points from the mega project point of view. we have got ores. I'm talking of 7 million ton of iron ores. But how much infrastructure we are having to transfer, to evacuate the mines, evacuate the raw material from the mines. So if you are looking at this amount of iron ore, then we should also look at infrastructure which can evacuate. We should be able to evacuate the products from the plant also. Then when we are planning to develop or auction the mines and go all sort of a thing, develop this thing in the mineral sector, when you are trying to bring this industries or investment, the foreign investment or local investment into going for mega projects, I mean, this cannot happen if you don't have the infrastructure to evacuate these products or raw materials. When you are talking of, now you see go to Kendujhar and other places, you see everything red. I mean, you see the status of the district. I mean, you feel really pity. I mean, you feel pity about the people who are there regarding mines. Nobody wants to work in the mines. The environment, the infrastructure which is available there, it is not conducive to a quality of life which this young generation wants. I mean, our generation was different. This generation cannot work in this sort of an environment. How do you look at this sort of an environment giving to the mineral sectors and to the evacuation? When I'm talking of evacuation, I talk to the East Coast Railway. They are having a plan the plan is approved to do railway lines across Kendujhar and other places to evacuate. Railway network is not only for commercial passenger or commercial thing, it has to go to in a very big way to mines, so that this, I mean, it's a better way rather than road transport. So railway has to penetrate the slurry lines. We have the longest slurry line in Odisha, 253 kilometers. We have joined from Kendujhar to Paradip. So many people are making, all Jindals are making, sir. We are also making now for around 40 kilometers of slurry line. The slurry line making is a challenge, but once the slurry line is made, I mean, it's absolutely environment friendly, and it also, it doesn't, I mean, you cannot see what exactly is happening, and it's also cost economics, both the way it makes happen. And when you are talking of inland waterways, this is also to be explored. A lot of rivers in Odisha, this planning has to be done in a way like my Japanese promoters, Nippon Steel, once they were talking to us, he told, when Japan we decide a major industry, we concentrate on industry. As an industry person, I know how to build a steel plant. I know how to make steel. But I cannot, they tell the Japanese government comes to them and asks them what exactly you are going to, okay, you are going to do this. So they told, okay, this is the economy benefit I am getting from you. So I will build roads, railways for you. Don't bother. Because if I concentrate on developing roads and following the roads, I am not a core competence person to find out how much roads, how it will be connected. It's not my job. My job is to bring technology, build a plant, but ancillary support has to be given. Same thing with mines. You know how what is the percentage of iron ore, how to beneficate. We should concentrate on our core competency, whereas leave the other support system to other service providers, so that things can develop in a bigger way. So we talk of, so when I went to Kalinganagar, I saw there is a water supply company which has developed. I mean, this is the ideal way. Here, dedicated water supply from river to the industry, or we should have a common utility services which supplies utility to all the industry, and this is a separate company. They are becoming professionals. So we have to talk of a utility company bringing a substation near mines and giving lines to all the mines, rather than every mines connecting it to the source and having the transmission line. Every industry getting their pipeline. Why don't you have a common pipeline and give branches to the people and earn money out of that service? You are a professional. This has to be developed. Land expedition. We are talking of policies. We are talking of which has been developed not for a mega industry explosion. Whatever policy you have developed, it was a normal industrialization process. But if we talk of a mega industry, if we talk of 7 billion ton of iron ore, we are talking of something else. If we want our people to prosper faster, if our economy has to grow faster, then our policies framework has to look at what exactly is meant for, how much speed we can bring to implementing our project. Why China could develop steel plant in 30–40% time than India is able to make a steel plant. Why? They are able to grow faster. It's a government policy. They are government who are changed. We look at our policies to see how we can bring speed into the policies. So there are many ways of doing it. This is just my thought that mega industry, mega investment, high exploration should be taken care by. I have got an example of a recent state. For a mega project, they have established a separate task force to see that they get all the help. It's basically coordination. They started doing it for the industry, so that project time will come down like anything. If you require more, then you have to also put more effort to see that things happen. So what exactly? I have only wanted that everything should be given to us. What exactly we are going to give? If all the policies and everything has been given to us. So the mega project give a major source of employment, especially in, it is not going to crowd Bhubaneswar or Bombay or Delhi. Where we are creating Raurkelas, we are creating Anuguls, we are creating Jharsugudas. So what we are trying to do, we are taking the employment burden from the major cities to tier 3 cities. By that, balancing the whole state population and employment opportunities and developing infrastructure there. If you are having a steel plant at Anugul, then what exactly you are doing? The whole Anugul is getting developed. So many people, so many employment at Anugul. But this is clogging out of what is happening in Bhubaneswar. This will just force people from Bhubaneswar to go there and work there. Ancillary industry development. A steel plant comes, it cannot survive alone. It requires service sector. It requires payers. It requires many things which, if it is not provided, then it cannot sustain. This is something which we are giving. Downstream, like my company, AMNS, has introduced 2 products. One is for solar, one is for electrical steel. I mean, electrical steel, most are getting imported. So quality steel, when the mega project comes, they will not come for garden variety. They will come for niche product, which will also attract. If 60–70% of the automobile manufacturers use ArcelorMittal steel, they will also like to bring Honda or Skoda or Volkswagen to India because they will be producing steel. They will also using this steel. So industries comes along with the value-added product the mega project people bring. The infrastructure development is a major thing. Steel is connected with infrastructure development. Supply chain linkages. I mean, if you see so many inputs and so many downstream industry and so many inputs, it automatically develops supply chain. Technology transfer. I mean, the frontier of technology when you are going for a mega investment. If you are talking of Industry 4.0, this is available in steel industry. Once this technology comes, it gets transferred to other industry automatically. Our people get exposed. Environmental stewardship. Like, see, this, like ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel, they are having industry in Japan, America, Poland, Europe, Germany, everywhere, where the environment norms may be much stricter than what India is talking. So we bring some technology, like we add values to the environment rather than implementing the norms. We like to bring certain things which will, because it is one of the things for growth that if the mega industry comes, this affects our environment, this pollutes. This is something which the mega industry has to see that they don't pollute. And they see that the environmental norms are being maintained or added, value added. So both way, because they cannot survive with this sort of a thing. They have developed technologies which sees that, like zero liquid discharge, or whatever is available, people add on these values and technology and make it possible. So community welfare, I don't have to talk about this thing. Every industry has to do it, and when the revenue is high, when they are successful, when the norms, when this industry is sustainable, automatically the community development and community welfare happens. So this is some random thoughts. This is my last slide. I will end with this. What I am talking is huge exploration of minerals, mega projects everywhere. The linkages are infrastructure of evacuation, logistics. This is something which we should ponder. Technological disruptions. This is the era of disruption. Every other day something is happening and old things are going, things are getting obsolete. Steel industry is facing a challenge of converting it to green. And the blast furnace BOF route is being challenged because of the high carbonization. World over, people are doing research in isolated or a combined way. So we are expecting any disruption of technology any day. So when I am planning a plant in Paradeep or Kendrapada, I am also planning that tomorrow something happens, my whole plan gets blocked. So we are also becoming ready that if there is a technological disruption, I'll be able to accommodate within the industry. And this disruption is of this era. Environmental impact, huge industry. Just see Australia. And I don't know, you can tell, Mr. Bakchi can tell, we have just got a news item that Australia is coming out huge iron resources. Huge iron resources. They're telling that world's highest resources. You look at Australia. All the coals are coming, but there is no steel-based, mineral-based industry in Australia. So this is, we have to take a call. I mean, we should have industry, we should have our environment intact. We should not affect our environment, all the mines, all these things which you are doing, it should not spoil us. That is the care which you have to take. Expansion of MSME for sustaining. Its question is that every mega project want MSME auxiliary industry. Are we ready for it? Are our entrepreneurs are ready for it? Again, we lose because if you are a mega project, like what has happened in Rourkela, we had a mega project, we had an industrial estate, did not successful. Everything went to Howrah because they could have an ecosystem which could produce spares and services much cheaper than what is happening in Rourkela. This is something which you should ponder. Mega projects are coming, mega investments are coming. As your MSMEs are ready to take advantage of these mega projects, repurposing the used and obsolete infrastructure. Mines are getting closed. How we are going to repurpose it, and we are doing it. This will come in a large scale because mines are gone, but this earth still remains. Are we having a plan for repurposing our assets which has lost its value? We are having obsolete infrastructure. How we are going to do about that? The last thing which you are pondering. Should we do accelerated mineral exploration or slow down our process? This is something which is for all of us. One of the last thought I will leave it after talking about that. We are talking of conversion from ore to finished product. This steel is never destroyed. This era is going to be challenged because number of steel items which are in the market for use is going to be obsolete. What is happening in Europe? In the name of green steel, what they have done, they have started recycling their steel industry, and recycling the steel to make steel is cheaper than the steel which we produce from ore. So the time will come when the steel recycle industry will become much cheaper than sourcing our mineral from mines and converting it to steel. This is a big challenge we should think. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I will request Mr. Samantray from Kabil to speak on critical and other minerals and the potential we have in our country.
Good afternoon to everybody. This session, which we are continuing, first of all, I would like to thank SGAT, the entire organization, so that they have given a chance to me to be here amongst all of you. All are mining persons. I'm not exactly a mining person, and I am not also going to talk on a topic which is exactly related to what so far we have discussed or will continue to discuss, because we are talking something about the minerals of Odisha. So I don't think it is exactly a topic which is related, but I am thankful to Mr. R.C. Mahanti, who is the convener and also the session chairman, who approached. In fact, we have worked together in NALCO. In fact, let me introduce myself not only as a CEO Kabil, I am also Director Commercial of NALCO. CEO Kabil is an additional activity what I am doing. And when Mr. Mahanti came to me and told that you take up a topic, critical mineral, which is of course the mineral for the future, I accepted that request, and I am here in front of you amongst this August gathering, and I think we are finding so many good speakers, so many good experienced persons here. And let me take this opportunity to speak something about the critical mineral, which is probably the mineral of the future. And I think not only the entire world, the government of India is very much particular. And in fact, the way our life is changing, I think if you find that what exactly has changed in our life is probably the use of green energy. The vehicle what we are using, which used to be very important in our life, is going to completely change. And this is only because of the introduction of the critical mineral. So my topic is critical mineral future prospects and the challenges. So let me just in a nutshell tell what exactly is the critical mineral. In my opinion, a mineral is critical when the risk of supply shortage and associated impact on the economy is higher than the raw material. And these minerals are very essential, very important for the development of the technologies, national security, and lack of the availability of these minerals can really impact, can be very vulnerable. And one of the most important thing which is going to affect the availability of critical mineral is the supply chain. These minerals are used in various fields and applications, be it high-tech sectors, including defense, energy, communications, space, nuclear sectors, mobile phones. Lot of critical mineral is going to your in your mobile phone, computers, batteries, EVs, renewable energy, solar, wind, and so forth. I think critical mineral is getting into probably in all the aspects of our life, and that is why it is critical. The critical minerals have got inherent geological characteristics, and that is why there is a lot of discussions going on for critical mineral because of its limited availability and high geological concentration. In all the countries, critical mineral is not available. I think we have been talking about so many minerals which are available in Odisha and India. I think the critical mineral so far has not been found in much quantity. Probably it is almost, you can say today, the deposits of critical minerals are almost nil. Though we have got some of the auctions, but those have not been very successful. And strong need for diversification of supply chain is probably one of the major aspect of this particular area, and the search of new sources of critical mineral. And the biggest challenge in the critical mineral is that so many critical minerals are there. There is a continuous diversification of the critical mineral that I will be coming in my next slides. In this rapid changing geological landscape, many developing countries are enacting new policies to develop their critical mineral resources. Because as I have told that critical minerals deposits are specific to few countries. They are holding the control over the critical mineral, and world is witnessing a surge in critical mineral related policies across the country, because every country, because I am also interacting with many of the countries, every country is now talking about critical mineral only. Lot of discussions at the G2G basis are taking place in critical mineral area. So now coming to the India's critical mineral, the government of India has at a very right time has constituted a committee to get into the critical mineral, which minerals are can be defined as a critical mineral. Government of India has established a Center for Excellence on Critical Mineral, and this particular committee has recommended that these 30 minerals can be considered as a critical mineral for the country. In fact, this is not a fixed list. It will go on varying. And why I am putting these 4 critical mineral in red are cobalt, graphite, lithium, and nickel. These are called the battery minerals. Now coming to the Kabil. Kabil is a special purpose vehicle which has been created by Government of India as a JV company between NALCO, Hindustan Copper, and MECL with 30% equity. And the main objective of this particular organization is acquiring for long-term investment in overseas critical mineral assets for sustainable domestic supply. Because as the technology is growing, like we are getting into a big way into the green energy, we are getting into the big way into the EVs and all. I think this is a area which India will be lacking if they are not having a clear-cut source of these minerals to India in future. The main objective of Kabil is primarily to meet the future critical mineral demand of the country. And currently Kabil is focusing in 2 critical minerals, that is lithium and cobalt. Kabil has already been in touch with many of the countries, because the main role of the Kabil is to acquire, develop, process, and make the critical mineral available to India. So this for lithium and cobalt, we have already got into 2 countries. One is Argentina and the other one in Australia. Argentina, Kabil has already acquired 5 critical mineral blocks, and Australia also there is a advanced stage of discussion for acquiring some of the investment in few of the companies. Now this is the entire value chain of battery. Like there are mainly three phases of the battery industry. One is upstream, midstream, and downstream. So upstream is basically mining concentrate, means sourcing the ore, mineral, then processing. Kabil has got role in this particular segment, that starting from sourcing till processing, Kabil is going to be very active in this. And the mid segment, it is basically the battery. Battery has got different parts, like you can say separator, anode, cathode, and electrolyte. If you can see from the map that this lithium and cobalt, which right now Kabil is onto, basically they are getting into in some of the requirement of the battery. And then the last one is downstream. So it is basically the battery technology, and then finally it is the recycling. So Kabil in the upstream, only the Kabil has started its presence in the upstream of the battery industry, and that is where we have already got into quite into acquiring the assets. Now Kabil is mandated for basically supply chain security for the country, value chain integration, because as a nodal agency, Kabil is working to integrate the value chain. Then technology and innovation, Kabil is in touch with many of the technology suppliers, so that ultimately Kabul will require to process the concentrate what Kabul will be acquiring. Then technology and innovation, environmental sustainability of the critical mineral, and the market development and investment opportunity. I am not getting into the much of the deeper. These are the 5 areas where Kabul is actively working. Now, what is the government's role for critical mineral? Government has already announced formation of National Critical Mineral Mission, and I think this mission has already started functioning, and they are very active. And I think, especially for the critical mineral, this mission is formed. So this shows the importance the government of India is giving to the critical mineral. And already Mineral Security Partnership (MSP) has been introduced, where 14 countries are together to discuss about the critical mineral sourcing amongst the countries. And this is what I was telling, that G2G, because some of the countries are having the critical mineral deposits, some of the countries are not having, like India. So this is a very good way, through tie-ups, the sourcing can be given to the countries where the critical mineral deposits are not there. And there have been amendments in the MMDR Act, whereby 24 critical and strategic mineral have been inserted in Part D to the Schedule 1. And then government has already started auctioning the strategic and critical mineral in different trenches. I think my friend from GSI was already telling, I think in the inauguration of the critical mineral, I think I was there, I hope he was also there. Now, what is the future prospects for the critical mineral? Basically, there are 5 pillars on which I will be discussing in brief. One is increased demand driven basically by the green energy and the electrical vehicles. This is which is going to drive the demand for the critical minerals. Then supply chain diversification and geopolitical considerations. Because as I have told that some of the countries are having deposits, some are not having. The geopolitical matter also is very important. Then recycling and circular economy. We all know that this is going to be the talk of the future. Technological innovations and mining and processing, and market price volatility and investment opportunity. Why critical mineral is very important? This is basically the renewable energy transition. As the world is moving towards the green energy, critical minerals like lithium, cobalt, nickel, and rare earths will be in high demand, that we all know. And in fact, the demand is growing at a very fast rate. As far as the India is concerned, in this COP26, India has set a target that 500 gigawatt of non-fossil fuel based energy by 2020-30, out of which 290 gigawatt will be from the solar and the rest from the other green energy. 50% of the energy will be through renewable energy by 2030. Carbon emission reduction by 1 billion ton by 2030. Carbon intensity reduction by 45% by 2030, and achieve net zero emission by 2070. So these are the very challenging targets on which India is working. And every area critical mineral is very important. So now coming to the how the RE is growing. By 2030, the solar, which is in 2023 is around 73 gigawatt, is going to touch 293. Similarly, wind, similarly hydro, biopower, and small hydro. So this is the growth we are going to have in the green energy. Now coming to the battery and lithium-ion battery, which is a major driver for the green energy. The demand for battery and lithium-ion batteries which basically is the demand for lithium, cobalt, nickel and graphite will go will increase exponentially due to their central role in battery production, EVs and energy storage solutions. Lithium-ion battery demand is expected to grow by 27% annually to reach 4,700 gigawatt hour by 2030 from 700 gigawatt hour in 2022. This is the growth which we are going to have in almost 8 years period. Such huge global demand for lithium ion battery will be driven basically by the electric vehicle, which we are already finding. So in the graph you can see that the EV share, which was very low up to 2017-18, is going to reach almost 27 to 30% by 2020-30. This is the growth which we are going to have. As far as the lithium ion battery are concerned, the demand of lithium ion battery, rest of the, if we see the breakup by 2020-30, the China continues to be the largest contributor, and then Europe, United States and rest of the world. And by sector, if we see that the mobility, like the vehicles will, the demand for the vehicle will be the highest, followed by stationary storage, consumer electricity. This is the scenario for the lithium ion batteries by 2020-30. So what government is giving for in this sector? Actually, Government of India has already declared PLI system, PLI scheme, production linked incentive scheme for advanced chemistry for cells with the strengthen of ecosystem for electrical mobility. This scheme envisages to enhance the battery manufacturing in India. As per the Niti Aayog report, 193,000 tons per annum of cathode active material, which is basically a raw material for manufacturing of the batteries, to produce 100 gigawatt hour lithium ion battery by 2020-30 will require, this is the requirement of the various critical mineral, 56,000 ton per annum of the lithium carbonate, which comes from the lithium mineral, 56,000 ton of lithium carbonate, 48,000 ton of per annum of cobalt sulfate and 53,000 ton of nickel sulfate will be required for the production of battery. And let me tell you, I don't think any quantity is available right now in India. So what are the factors which are contributing for the high demand of lithium ion battery? Rising fuel price, as we all know, one of the factors why we are going for EVs is the rising fuel price. Declining EV battery cost. If you find that the cost of the EV cars are drastically coming down because of the cost of the battery which is coming down, then government schemes, rising income of the people, increase awareness about environmental friendly options. That is also one of the factor. Then improving charging infrastructure. Probably at the beginning, maybe when some of the people purchase the EV cars, the biggest challenge for them was how to charge. I think the solutions are very fast coming. Now, diversification of the supply sources, which I told that this will be one of the parameter for the future prospects for this thing. Presently, China is controlling the entire critical mineral market. As some of my friend has told that not only in aluminum and steel, they are the leader in critical mineral. So India is going to invest heavily in securing critical mineral. Maybe Kabil is also one of the link of the chain. especially in the lithium, nickel and cobalt. These are the three minerals which probably India is also targeting. But the issue is the resilience to geopolitical risk actually, because you see, because at present, we are, Kabil has started their functioning in Argentina and Australia. One of the main reason is that we have got a very good G2G relationship and the geopolitical scenario is good. Like there are countries I will not name who have got lot of deposit, but people are not going to those countries because of these reasons. Mineral security partnership, Government of India, I think a lot of meetings also I am attending. This MSP is also doing a great thing in creating relationship between the countries, and all countries are coming together to help each other to resolve the uh, 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 sourcing of critical mineral into their countries. Who are the top producers globally? You see, India is not there at present. Brazil, Democratic Republic of Congo, as I have told that lot of deposits, cobalt and this thing are deposit, but people are not very much enthusiastic to get into those countries. South Africa, Russia, China. You see what type of deposit they have got and what is the leadership position they have acquired. Vietnam and Australia. Two very important things which are very important for the critical mineral is price volatility. There has been very high price volatility in the market, and especially let me tell you that the lithium prices at present in the LME, London Metal Exchange prices, are such that now people are afraid of investing into this industry because uh, people are telling those are just half of the prices those were couple of years back. So they are all waiting that prices will go up so that they will again start thinking of investment. This is the criticality. So the price volatility is probably affecting the investment in critical mineral. So probably few years back, a lot of people were very interested to get into the investment into the critical mineral because of the geopolitical issues, because of the very high price volatility, and because of the technology not coming into every country. Some of the few countries are holding this thing. The investment in critical mineral is really a challenge. So recycling and circular economy. Let me tell you the future of this critical mineral, one of the major parameter is recycling. Because you see, it will take care of two problems. One is it will get you the material at a much cheaper price, and the second is what to do with so much batteries what we are getting into the system. So it will be probably in future this will be one of the major challenge for this industry to handle. And I am happy that some of the companies, I think couple of companies in India are doing very well in this area. So one of the company I just met, they are developing many technologies to recycle these batteries, and they are getting a good amount at a good margin also. So if you see the right side table, that the material cost is almost $4,800 to $5,200. The extraction cost is around $3,600 to $4,000, and the margin you see around $800 to $1,600. Not only they are recycling, they are getting a very good margin also into that. So this is the area which is going to come up. Closed loop cycle, like as we have told that closed loop cycle means you take the car and return the battery. So that type of system is going to come. I think that has already started. And urban mining, I think extracting valuable minerals from the electronic waste. That is also, I think a lot of companies are into that. These are the three areas which are very important for the future development of this particular area. Now, automation in mining. These are the technological innovation in the mining, which are, I think these are the area I think everybody is expert. Let me not get into these. Just to touch that automation in mining is playing an important role. I think some of the speakers have really told, GSI also told what type of technology they are using. The advanced extraction technique, this has also been covered in the few of the discussions, and processing efficiency. So these are the very important things which are also will change the way we mine. Then what are the basic challenges ahead for the critical mineral? First is environmental and social concern. I think for critical mineral, it is more of the importance. Then geological and supply chain risk, mining and extraction challenges. These are very important. Alternative materials and solution, and investment, financing and market challenge. Let me tell you just one example why I am telling alternative material. Actually, the entire world is working for the battery. Now the hydrogen cars have come. In one of the exhibition I was in Delhi, virtually I saw a hydrogen car which was there. So this is the risk also. What we are developing, maybe it may be obsolete in future also. So just to conclude, the future of critical mineral is linked to global technological advancements. As the technology will advance, the demand of critical mineral is going to increase, especially in the clean energy, electric vehicle and advanced manufacturing. These minerals will remain in high demand, but the supply will be increasingly affected by the geopolitical factors and other factors. Presently, the industry is controlled by few countries globally. This is really a challenge. The future of critical mineral is associated with challenges that require global cooperation. As I have already told that a lot of G2G discussions are going on. G2G model is adopted by major countries. The increasing demand driven is coupled with the complexity of sourcing, extraction and sustainability practices. Addressing these challenges will require investment in alternate materials, improved mining technology, recycling, and so on. For countries like India, ensuring a secured, diversified, and sustainable supply of these materials will be the key to maintain economic growth, which, of course, India is very serious. Being the investment destination with the huge future demand, India can play a major role in controlling role in strategically if it is strategically planned. And I hope that as India has taken a major uh, position, especially in steel and aluminium, I think this will be the feature area where India can also be a leader. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for first accepting the invitation request to give this excellent talk, which is a new in our forum. And second, finishing it quickly and giving us a lot of information. Thank you. Now, I request most awaited, also a special request. I think Mr. Shambhu Jha from MCL will be presenting. It is coal which is important for us after iron or more than iron also. And being a pioneer company in the whole coal India, producing highest coal, they have the information and facts and figures about how the government is planning for alternate use of coal. And he has accepted our request and came here. I thank him for that. Please. He is the key person in MCL in the sorts of business as technical secretary to chairman and GM of MCL.
Afternoon. Namaste. हेलो यस सबसे पहले मैं डॉक्टर आरसी महंती और ये जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है SGAT उसको मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ कि मुझे यहाँ पे इनवाइट किया और मुझे लगा कि इन्होंने कहा कि नहीं कुछ प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है उड़ीसा में बिकॉज ऑफ पोल्यूशन and because of reclamation इन्होंने यही वर्ड यूज़ किया था। तो इसके ऊपर में ध्यान नहीं जा रहा है, तो मैंने सोचा कि नहीं, इसमें हम लोग जो अभी देश सोच रहा है उसमें भी कुछ चेंज की ज़रूरत है। इसीलिए मैं यहाँ पे आया हूँ, आपके सामने खड़ा हूँ और मैं आपको नमस्कार करता हूँ, उड़ीसा को नमस्कार करता हूँ कि इतना बड़ा मिनरल सेक्टर है, इतना बड़ा स्टेट है और इसमें हाईएस्ट मिनरल रिसोर्सेज हैं सभी तरह के। और मैं तो ज़्यादा मिनरल के बारे में जानता नहीं हूँ यहाँ के, बट कोल के बारे में स्पेशली मैं बता सकता हूँ, आपको थोड़ा सा आइडिया दे सकता हूँ कि कोल का क्या फ्यूचर है और गवर्नमेंट इसके बारे में क्या सोच रही है और कैसे ये इम्प्लीमेंट होगा। बेसिकली इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि हम लोग बात तो बहुत करते हैं लेकिन इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट में आकर के फिर वही R&D एंड पायलट प्रोजेक्ट होने लगता है। तो और वो एक यदि R&D लग गया तो 10 साल देश पीछे चला जाता है। तो इसमें कैसे हम लोग कर सकते हैं, क्या पोटेंशियल है बेसिकली, उसको मैं आपके सामने रख रहा हूँ। प्लीज़। सबसे पहले मैं बिकॉज आप लोग मिनरल सेक्टर के बारे में तो जानते हैं, बट कोल के बारे में मैं जस्ट थोड़ा सा बता देता हूँ। तो उसके बारे में कुछ पॉइंट्स है। अबाउट 1000 मिलियन टन कोल हम लोग डोमेस्टिकली प्रोड्यूस करते हैं और 1000 मिलियन टन में से 200 मिलियन टन हम लोग इंपोर्ट भी करते हैं। तो टोटल मिला के 1200 मिलियन टन कोल हम लोग यहाँ पे यूज़ करते हैं इंडिया में। और आप ये जानेंगे कि कोल का जो ये यूज़ है ये बेसिकली साइंटिफिकली टेक्निकली ये सही नहीं है। क्यों? क्योंकि कोल किंग ऑफ ऑल हाइड्रोकार्बन्स है। दैट मीन्स कि इसमें कार्बन कंटेंट सबसे ज़्यादा है। कोई भी मटेरियल ले लीजिए तो इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा कार्बन कंटेंट है। और इसका राज ये है कि जब सन से धरती अलग हुआ था, अर्थ अलग हुआ था, तो आप जानते होंगे कि केवल ये आग का गोला था और उसके बाद जो ये ठंडा हुआ तो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बहुत हुआ और उस सारे कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को एक ये था स्पेसीज था, वो था प्लांट। वो प्लांट उसको फोटोसिंथेसिस करके सारे कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड को कार्बोहाइड्रेट बनाया और फिर वो कार्बोहाइड्रेट जो है वो फाइनली धरती के नीचे जाके हाई टेम्परेचर हाई प्रेशर में कोल बना। तो इतना जबरदस्त रिसोर्स और इसको हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, जला दे रहे हैं। सो दैट इज द बिगेस्ट, हमको बोलना नहीं चाहिए बट बिगेस्ट क्रिमिनल एक्ट जो हम लोग आज कर रहे हैं। यदि साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी को हम देखेंगे, जो कि साइंस है, प्रोसेस है, टेक्नोलॉजी है, फिर भी हम कोल को अभी जला रहे हैं। सो दिस इज द बिगेस्ट चैलेंज कि कैसे हम इससे बचें। तो इसके बारे में जस्ट मैं आपको बताने वाला हूँ। सो इंडिया में 1200 मिलियन टन कोल जल रहा है। कोल को जलाने के अलावा कोई भी अल्टरनेटिव यूज के बारे में आज तक सोचा नहीं गया है कि भाई इसको कैसे दूसरे तरीके से कैसे यूज किया जाए। कोल को बस केवल जलाते हैं। दूसरे देश में क्लीन कोल टेक्नोलॉजी है जिसमें कि IGCC के मदद से आज से नहीं, आज से 30 साल 40 साल से वहाँ पे वो सब टेक्नोलॉजी से बन रहा है। बट हम लोग इस कोल को जला रहे हैं। सो इसमें से CIL का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन है, कोल इंडिया जो हमारा पेरेंट कंपनी है, तो कोल इंडिया का कंट्रीब्यूशन अबाउट 80% है कोल सप्लाई में, कोल प्रोडक्शन में। एंड MCL का कंट्रीब्यूशन लगभग 21% है। एंड फाइनेंशियल ईयर 25 में जो अबाउट 30% कंट्रीब्यूशन है, बिकॉज MCL हाईएस्ट कोल प्रोड्यूसिंग कंपनी ऑफ द वर्ल्ड है, सिंगल कंपनी, और इंडिया में तो है ही। और 200 मिलियन टन इसने लास्ट ईयर ही 200 मिलियन टन के क्लब में प्रवेश किया है। सो ये तो कोल के बारे में बात हो गई। अब आते हैं एनर्जी के बारे में, बिकॉज एनर्जी के बिना कुछ भी संभव नहीं है। कोई भी चीज़, कोई भी इंडस्ट्री, कोई भी मेडिकल साइंस, कोई भी डेवलपमेंट, कुछ भी चीज़ बिना एनर्जी के संभव नहीं है। सो हमको एनर्जी, जो देश एनर्जी को अच्छा से हैंडल करता है, इसको मैनेज करता है, वो देश सबसे डेवलप करेगा। तो इस यहाँ का जो एनर्जी स्टेटिस्टिक्स है, मैं जस्ट आपको बता देता हूँ। 73% ऑफ एनर्जी, दैट मीन्स की इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, ये कोल के बर्निंग से होता है। दैट मीन्स कोल कंट्रीब्यूट्स अबाउट 73%, जबकि इंस्टॉल्ड कैपेसिटी जो है वो लगभग 49% है, बट जनरेशन इज 73%। अभी हम लोग रिन्यूएबल की बात कर रहे हैं, आरईज की बात कर रहे हैं, तो उनका कैपेसिटी बहुत तेजी से बढ़ा है। हेलो हेलो, हाँ, ये बीच में कुछ डिस्टरबेंस हो रहा है थोड़ा सा। तो आरई का कैपेसिटी, जो इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी है, बहुत तेजी से बढ़ा है, लेकिन हम लोग केवल गीगावाट की बात करते हैं। उससे हम लोग को बचना चाहिए, बिकॉज ये गीगावाट जो है स्पेशली एक पॉलिटिकल टर्म है। बेसिकली हम लोग को बात करना चाहिए मिलियन यूनिट्स का या बिलियन यूनिट्स का बात करना चाहिए, कि कितना बिजली एक्चुअल में बन रहा है, कितना इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी है, उससे क्या मतलब है, कितना बन रहा है, और जो देश यूज कर रहा है उसके बारे में बात करना चाहिए। तो वो उसका कैपेसिटी अभी लगभग हमारे हिसाब से 33% हो चुका है ऑलरेडी। कहाँ गया इसमें, हाँ, 31% ऑलरेडी हो चुका है आरईज का कैपेसिटी, बट कंट्रीब्यूशन कितना है, ओनली 13%। सो ये जो चीज है, इसी को हमको ठीक करना पड़ेगा, इसी को हमको एड्रेस करना पड़ेगा, कि कैसे ज्यादा से ज्यादा एनर्जी हमको आरई सोर्स से आए। ठीक है, सो इसको तो मैंने आपको बता दिया। इसके अलावा एक और चीज है, कि अभी भी 80 करोड़ पीपुल, अभी भी 80 करोड़ आदमी काउ डंग केक और फायरवुड्स, लकड़ी जला के अपना डोमेस्टिक रिक्वायरमेंट पूरा कर रहे हैं, और उससे इतना ज्यादा कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड एंड अदर हार्मफुल गैसेस प्रोड्यूस हो रहे हैं, कि लगभग 15 लाख, स्पेशली लेडीज एंड स्पेशली बच्चे एंड स्पेशली ओल्ड एज, ये इससे इफेक्टेड हो रहे हैं, और 15 लाख आदमी मर रहे हैं अभी इंडिया में, जो कि रोड एक्सीडेंट से भी ज़्यादा है। सो ये सब जो बहुत शॉकिंग फैक्ट्स है, इसके ऊपर हमको ध्यान देना चाहिए, कि 1200 मिलियन टन कोल, तो हम बोलते हैं कि ठीक है 1200 मिलियन टन कोल जला रहे हैं, उससे लगभग 1600 मिलियन टन कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड जनरेट हो रहा है। टोटल कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड मान लीजिए कि यहाँ पे इंडिया में अभी 2800 मिलियन टन जनरेट हो रहा है एनुअली, उसमें से लगभग 1600 मिलियन टन हमारा ये थर्मल पावर जो है उसके चलते 1600 मिलियन टन जनरेट हो रहा है। लेकिन ये इसमें जो अनअकाउंटेड फैक्टर है वो इसमें आता नहीं है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, यदि हम कोयला जला करके बिजली नहीं प्रोड्यूस करते तो क्या होता? तो अभी भी 80 करोड़ आदमी जो है वो कितना इफिशियंसी में यूज कर रहे हैं, ये जो हाइड्रोकार्बन को वो यूज कर रहे हैं 3 to 5% इफिशियंसी में। कोई भी चूल्हा जो है इसमें 3 to 5% इफिशियंसी में ही काम होता है, उसमें एनर्जी कन्वर्सन होता है। बैलेंस जो है वो हार्मफुल गैसेस में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है और वो डेथ क्रिएट कर रहा है। सो ये जो आपका जो इफिशियंसी को यदि हमको देखना होगा तो 3 to 5% में कन्वर्सन हो रहा है आपका फायरवुड से, काउडंग केक से। ये कोल से हो रहा है 30 to 35% तक में। तो सोचिए यदि हम बिजली से नहीं बनाते तो क्या होता, और बहुत ज्यादा पोल्यूशन होता है। अभी जो इंडो गैंगेटिक बेल्ट है, जो पटना और उस सब साइड में आप देखिएगा कि ठंडा के टाइम में इतना बड़ा सैटेलाइट के इमेज में आप देखिएगा कि ह्यूज आपका स्मॉग का लेयर रहता है। वहाँ तो कोई कोल माइनिंग नहीं है, वहाँ तो कोई ज़्यादा पावर प्लांट्स नहीं है, लेकिन वहाँ क्यों हो रहा है? तो इसको ध्यान देना पड़ेगा कि कहाँ से एक्चुअल सोर्स क्या है, जो कि अनअकाउंटेड है अभी भी। नाउ बाकी सबसे हाईएस्ट सोर्स क्या है? सबसे हाईएस्ट एनर्जी कन्वर्सन कौन कर सकता है? वो हाइड्रोजन। हाइड्रोजन में 80% एनर्जी कन्वर्सन हो सकता है, 80%। ठीक है, तो इसके बाद हम लोग ये देखते हैं कि ये जो आपका जो है नेक्स्ट, सॉरी, हाँ, नाउ इसको बदलना कैसे है? ये तो बात हो गई, ये तो फैक्ट्स हो गए, ये तो फिगर्स हो गए, बट इसको बदलना कैसे है? कौन बदलेगा इसको? हु विल टेक द लीड? तो हम ही लोग को करना पड़ेगा। हम ही लोग इंजीनियर हैं, साइंटिस्ट हैं, हम ही लोग को ये करना पड़ेगा, बाकी तो कोई आएगा नहीं कि इसको बताने के लिए हमको। तो इसमें जो जो बेसिक फंडामेंटल्स है उसके तरफ मैं आपको जस्ट बता रहा हूँ कि कोल का क्या रोल हो सकता है। अभी जो कोल का रोल है, बस केवल सब जानते हैं कि कोल से हमको एनर्जी मिलेगा, कोल से हमको रेवेन्यू मिलेगा। अभी हमारा जो MCL है वो लगभग 40,000 करोड़ का रेवेन्यू जनरेशन करता है। उसमें से 18,000 करोड़ लगभग हम लोग गवर्नमेंट को देते हैं, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट एंड एज वेल एज सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट को। और ये जो रेवेन्यू है, और लगभग हमारे यहाँ से यदि डायरेक्ट इनडायरेक्ट नौकरी के बारे में देखेंगे, लाइवलीहुड जनरेशन, तो लगभग 1 लाख लाइवलीहुड जनरेशन हो रहा है। 1 लाख फैमिली ये कोल के ऊपर में डिपेंडेंट है फॉर लाइवलीहुड जनरेशन। और जो डाउन स्ट्रीम है उसको मैं छोड़ दे रहा हूँ। ये जो एकदम डायरेक्ट में है, डायरेक्ट में लगभग 22,500 आदमी है, इनडायरेक्ट में लगभग 25,500 आदमी है जो कि कंट्रेक्चुअल में है। इसके अलावा कम से कम 10,000 ट्रक्स चल रहे हैं, उसमें एक ट्रक में मिनिमम 5 आदमी हैं, सो 50,000 आदमी वहाँ हो गए। तो इस तरह से आप देखिएगा कि लगभग 1 लाख तो यहीं पे हो गए। तो ये कहाँ जाएंगे? यदि कोल नहीं रहेगा तो ये कहाँ जाएंगे? ये एक सोचने की बात है। दूसरा कि एक और फैक्ट है कि जो 2022-23 में हमको जो प्रॉफिट हुआ था, वो प्रॉफिट घट के, उस समय में 18,000 करोड़ प्रॉफिट हुआ था, वो घट के लास्ट ईयर, दैट मीन्स लास्ट फाइनेंशियल ईयर में वो घट के 15,000 करोड़ हो गया। मैंने 3,000 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट हमारा घट गया। क्यों घट गया? क्योंकि कमर्शियल माइंस आ गए, प्राइवेट माइंस आ गए, कैप्टिव माइंस आ गए। तो वहाँ से हमारा जो कोल का डिमांड था, हमारे यहाँ क्या होता है कि कोल 80% कोल हमको पावर सेक्टर को देना पड़ता है कंपलसरी। दैट मीन्स कि वहाँ हम जो कॉस्ट में कोल जनरेट होता है उससे बहुत हल्का सा प्रॉफिट लेके हमको दे देना पड़ता है 80% कोल। बाकी का 20% जो कोल है उसको हम ई ऑक्शन कर सकते हैं, और उस ई ऑक्शन से हमको लगभग 4 गुना 5 गुना दाम मिलता था, वो काफ़ी घट गया। एक तो वॉल्यूम भी हमारा इस साल जो चल रहा है इसमें वॉल्यूम भी काफ़ी घट गया है, एंड एज वेल एज जो हमको प्रीमियम मिलता था वो भी काफ़ी घट गया है। तो अब हर साल हमको लगभग 3,000 करोड़ का घाटा भी सहना पड़ेगा, ये भी हमको देखना है। तो अब हमको यदि देखना है कि कैसे इसको कंट्रोल किया जाए, दैट मीन्स कि रेवेन्यू आपने देख लिया, लाइवलीहुड जनरेशन देख लिया, तो इसको कैसे जस्ट ट्रांजिशन के हम तरफ बढ़ेंगे, सो दैट कि कोल एंड विदाउट कोल जब होगा तो क्या स्थिति जनरेट होगा, किस स्थिति में आएगा। तो इसमें क्यों ऐसा हो रहा है? सबसे बड़ा फैक्टर ये देखा जा रहा है कि कॉस्ट इज द ओनली फैक्टर। केवल कॉस्ट एक फैक्टर है, इकोनॉमी केवल एक फैक्टर है, जहां की कोल से अभी भी हम लोग लगभग 3 रुपया पर यूनिट बिजली बना सकते हैं यहाँ पे, जहाँ की पिट हेड थर्मल पावर प्लांट से। और यदि हम इसको 500 किलोमीटर 1,000 किलोमीटर ले जाते हैं तो वहाँ लगभग 4.5 रुपया पर यूनिट बिजली बनता है। नाउ यदि हम सोलर से तुलना करेंगे तो 2 रुपया में बनता है। तो आप बोलेंगे सोलर क्यों नहीं पूरा छा जा रहा है? इसीलिए नहीं छा जा रहा है बिकॉज ये केवल 9 बजे सुबह से रात शाम में 4 बजे तक का बिजली बना सकता है। रात में क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा। सोलर का 2 ही रुपया कॉस्ट है, लेकिन स्टोरेज यदि हम देखेंगे कि हमको ग्रिड में देना है, कांस्टेंट फ्लो में देना है, तो हमको स्टोरेज के बारे में सोचना पड़ेगा। और स्टोरेज का कॉस्ट अभी भी लगभग 8 रुपया से 10 रुपया पर यूनिट है। सो इसीलिए टोटल माने नेट कॉस्ट जो है वो सोलर का भी ज़्यादा है कोल से। इसीलिए कोल से ही लोग बिजली बना रहे हैं, सोलर से नहीं बना रहे हैं। सोलर से बना भी रहे हैं तो वो उसका ज़्यादा यूज नहीं हो पाता है। नाउ हम ही देखिए 50 मेगावाट का यहाँ पे बनाए हैं, सोलर लगाए हैं बलांगीर डिस्ट्रिक्ट में। वहाँ 4 रुपये 20 पैसे में बिजली बन रहा है पर यूनिट सोलर से, और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ उड़ीसा खरीद रहा है उसको 3 रुपये 10 पैसा में। तो 1 रुपया का हमारा वहाँ घाटा है। तो ये जो हमको इसको कौन दूर कर सकता है? इसको बस एक ही चीज दूर कर सकता है, वो कोल ही दूर कर सकता है। कैसे? वो मैं आपको समझाता हूँ। कोल को थ्रू गैसिफिकेशन और विदाउट गैसिफिकेशन हम लोग कोल को दो भाग में बांट सकते हैं, एक कार्बन और एक हाइड्रोजन। बिकॉज कोल क्या है, अभी जो मैं बताया था, सबसे अल्टीमेट सोर्स ऑफ एनर्जी क्या है, सनलाइट। सनलाइट से क्या बना, हाइड्रोकार्बन, सॉरी कार्बोहाइड्रेट, और कार्बोहाइड्रेट से क्या बना, हाइड्रोकार्बन। दैट मीन्स कि सारा कहानी है कार्बन और हाइड्रोजन का। नाउ ये कार्बन और हाइड्रोजन का जो अल्टीमेट सोर्स है वो क्या है, कोल है। सो इस कोल को यदि हम सेपरेट कर देते हैं, मतलब कार्बन को अलग कर देते हैं, हाइड्रोजन को अलग कर देते हैं, तो यही इसका सबसे बेस्ट सॉल्यूशन है। क्यों? क्योंकि जितना भी आप देखेंगे सोलर, ईवी, ये सब चीज में स्टोरेज इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग। और स्टोरेज के लिए सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है, क्या है, लिथियम नहीं है, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है ग्राफीन। अभी आपने शायद सर्च करेंगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा कि ग्राफीन क्या है। सो ग्राफीन इज ऑल्सो ए वंडर मटेरियल, और ये बहुत अच्छा बैटरी के रूप में डेवलप हो सकता है, जहाँ की बैटरी, कुछ ग्राफीन बैटरी ऑलरेडी आया है मार्केट में, जो कि लगभग आधे घंटे में चार्ज हो जाता है। और यदि आपका लिथियम आयन बैटरी गाड़ी में 200 किलोमीटर चल पाएंगे आप एक चार्जिंग में, तो उससे आप 2000 किलोमीटर चल पाएंगे। कम से कम 10 गुना ज़्यादा उसका कैपेसिटी है ग्राफीन का। और ग्राफीन कैसे बनेगा, कोल से बनेगा, कार्बन से बनेगा बेसिकली। सो ये एक बहुत बड़ा रिसोर्स है, कोल एक बहुत बड़ा रिसोर्स है, जिसमें कि उसका रिसोर्स क्या है, उसका रिसोर्स कार्बन है। उसको जलाना नहीं है, उस कार्बन को जला के हम लोग कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बनाए थे। सो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड नहीं बनाना है, उसको सेपरेट कर देना है, सेपरेट करके उससे ग्राफीन बनाना है, उससे कार्बन नैनो ट्यूब बनाना है, उससे और भी बहुत सारे क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स हैं जो कि बना सकते हैं हम। और वो हमारा इस दोनों इंडस्ट्री को सपोर्ट कर सकता है। किस इंडस्ट्री को, सोलर को एंड आपका ईवी को। नेक्स्ट, ईवी भी क्यों चाहिए भाई, हम हाइड्रोजन से ही गाड़ी चलाएंगे। सो हाइड्रोजन कहाँ से आएगा, उतना हाइड्रोजन कहाँ से आएगा। आप बोलेंगे नहीं पानी को इलेक्ट्रोलाइसिस करेंगे, नहीं। आप यदि कोयला से बनाते हैं, ग्रे हाइड्रोजन बनाते हैं, तो वो लगभग 8 गुना कम दाम में बन जाता है, इसमें 8 गुना ज़्यादा दाम लगता है। सो उसमें भी उसके भी जो इलेक्ट्रोड्स है उसमें भी हमको कार्बन नैनो ट्यूब लगेगा, जिससे कि वो इलेक्ट्रोलाइसिस भी यदि हम करते हैं तो उसमें भी इसका बहुत बड़ा रोल है। दैट मीन्स कि कार्बन नैनो ट्यूब का बहुत बड़ा रोल है। सो आप देख रहे हैं कि हाइड्रोजन सेपरेटली, आप इसको सेपरेट करके भी बहुत सारा हाइड्रोजन बना सकते हैं। बिकॉज कोल से यदि आप बनाते हैं गैस, मान लीजिए CH4 बनाते हैं, तो CH4 में कितना, H4 है, C केवल एक है, तो कार्बन को आप सेपरेट कर लेंगे तो हाइड्रोजन, बहुत सारा हाइड्रोजन बनेगा इसमें। सो इस कंसेप्ट के साथ में जब हम यदि चलते हैं तो हमारा क्या क्या होता है, जस्ट मैं कंक्लूड कर रहा हूँ नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में। और इसमें बेसिकली मेनली पॉलिसी मैटर्स की बात है, प्लस हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, अभी तक कहाँ तक पहुँचे हैं, वो भी मैं जस्ट आपको बता देता हूँ। तो एक तो सबसे पहला चीज है कि हाइड्रोजन से जब हम बिजली बनाते हैं, 80% की मैं जो बात कर रहा था, 80%, मोर देन 80%। सो उस वो कैसे बनेगा, वो हाइड्रोजन फ्यूल सेल, हाइड्रोजन फ्यूल सेल से यदि हम बिजली बनाते हैं तो मोर देन 80% इफिशिएंसी हमको मिलेगा, एक नंबर। दूसरा नंबर है कि हाइड्रोजन को इकोसिस्टम यदि मेरा बन जाता है तो फ्यूल, एज ए फोसिल फ्यूल को छोड़ के हम हाइड्रोजन को यूज कर सकते हैं। और उसका बाई प्रोडक्ट क्या है, उसका बाई प्रोडक्ट वाटर है, H2O। देन ईवी और RE, मतलब कि रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी, सोलर स्पेशली इंडिया में इतना ज़्यादा रिसोर्स है कि आराम से सोलर से पूरा 100% एनर्जी का ये कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकता है, 100%। लेकिन उसमें बस केवल हमको स्टोरेज देखना पड़ेगा। यदि स्टोरेज हम अच्छा से कर दे रहे हैं, उसको स्टोरेज को चीपर कर दे रहे हैं, लगभग 1-2 रुपया में पर यूनिट यदि स्टोरेज कर दे रहे हैं तो आराम से काम हो जाएगा। सो ये एक दूसरा चीज हुआ। और लास्ट में है कि significant reduction in use of coal for electricity generation and rather using its carbon value for resolving the solar storage, EV, hydrogen ecosystem, etc. तो अब बात आती है कि हम लोग तो केवल इतना बात कर दिए, लेकिन इसके बारे में कर क्या रहे हैं। सो इसके बारे में दो चीज हो रहा है। एक तो हमने भेल से, जो भेल है इंडियन कोल को गैसिफाई करने में, जो हमारे
यहाँ पे सबसे बड़ा गैसिफिकेशन प्रोजेक्ट लगा है कहाँ पे, अंगुल में, 25,000 करोड़ का। और वहाँ क्या हुआ, वहाँ भी मतलब लॉस में ही हुआ, क्योंकि इंडियन कोल से वो करना नहीं जानते थे। बेसिकली इंडियन कोल का जो ओरिजिन है टोटल अलग है, इंडोनेशिया से या ऑस्ट्रेलिया के कोल से या यूएस के कोल से अलग है, टोटल 100% अलग है वहाँ। सो इंडियन कोल से किसी ने भी आज तक नहीं किया है। भेल का केवल एक्सपर्टाइज है कि इंडियन कोल को कैसे गैसीफाई करना है, और उनका ये बहुत एक्सपर्टाइज बहुत दिन से है, करीब 25-30 साल से वो लोग कर रहे हैं इसको गैसीफाई। उतना स्केल में नहीं कर रहे हैं, बट कर रहे हैं वो, और वही उसको इसका एक समाधान दे सकते हैं। तो हमने भेल के साथ एक एमओयू किया है, माने एमओयू करने वाले हम लोग, मीटिंग कर चुके हैं, मिनट्स भी साइन हो चुका है। तो उनका ये बोलना है कि, हमारा ये बोलना है कि देखिए, हम R&D या हम पायलट प्रोजेक्ट इस सब में नहीं जाना है। उनके ईडी बोले कि नहीं नहीं, हम लोग को पहले पायलट प्रोजेक्ट करना चाहिए। हम बोले नहीं नहीं, पायलट प्रोजेक्ट से फिर 10 साल देश पीछे हो जाएगा। सो लेट अस गो डायरेक्टली ए बिग प्लांट, कम से कम 10 मिलियन टन पर ईयर का एक प्लांट हम लोग सोचे, और 30,000 करोड़ का खर्चा हो उसमें, और उसमें कम से कम 10,000 आदमी को जॉब मिले, और उस प्लांट के बारे में हम सोचे। और उसके लिए उनका ये बोलना है कि ठीक है, कोल से सिन गैस बनाने तक का जिम्मा उनका है। जैसे हम लोग का क्या जिम्मेवारी, हम लोग का कोर कॉम्पिटेंस है धरती के नीचे से कोयला निकाल देना। उसके यूज के बारे में हमारा कोई कोर कॉम्पिटेंस नहीं है। इसको कोर कॉम्पिटेंस किसको डेवलप करना चाहिए था, जो यूज करते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल एनटीपीसी या भी अदर जो यूजर्स है, उनको सोचना चाहिए था कि इसका और क्या यूज हो सकता है। लेकिन जब प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ने देखा कि नहीं, यहाँ कुछ उपाय नहीं है, तो उन्होंने एक टारगेट रख दिया कि 100 मिलियन टन गैसीफाई करना है 2030 तक। लेकिन आज हो गया 2025 में हम लोग पहुंच रहे हैं, अभी 1 मिलियन टन का भी कहीं पे जुगाड़ नहीं है कि 1 मिलियन टन भी गैसीफाई हो। तो इसको लेके हमारा कंपनी सोचा कि नहीं ठीक है, हम लोग गैसिफिकेशन में एक बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट लाएंगे। और उस गैसिफिकेशन में भेल से हमने जब कांटेक्ट किया तो भेल बोला कि ठीक है, कोल से सिन गैस मैं बना दूंगा, 3,000 टन का मेरा मॉड्यूलर यूनिट है, कोई उसका बड़ा डिजाइन करने की जरूरत नहीं है। 3,000 टन का एक मॉड्यूलर यूनिट है, 3,000 टन पर डे। तो आपको 10 मिलियन टन के लिए 27,000 टन चाहिए। दैट मीन्स कि 9 प्लांट आप लगा दीजिए, काम खत्म आपका। तो 27,000 टन पर डे गैसीफाई हो गया, दैट मीन्स सिन गैस बन गया। सिन गैस के बाद उनका एक्सपर्टाइज कुछ नहीं है, तो उसके लिए एक अलग आइलैंड है जो कि सिन गैस को सफाई कर देगा, क्लीनिंग ऑफ सिन गैस। उसके बाद एक और एजेंसी है जो कि सिन गैस से मीथेन में कन्वर्ट कर देगा। हो गया, ये तीन प्रोसेस एकदम क्लियर है, कोल टू सिन गैस टू मीथेन। नाउ मीथेन से आज के डेट में भी ग्रेफाइट बन रहा है, और मीथेन से आज के डेट में भी डायमंड बन रहा है। तो हम लोग ये सोचे कि जितना भी गैसिफिकेशन प्रोजेक्ट जो लिया गया है मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ कोल के तरफ से, वो सभी अनवायबल है। उसमें 8,500 करोड़ का गैप फंडिंग जो कि गवर्नमेंट दे रहा है। तो मेरा ये बोलना था कि नहीं नहीं, गैप फंडिंग के चक्कर में रहेंगे तो कभी भी ये हम लोग बढ़ नहीं पाएंगे। हमको यदि बढ़ना है तो 100% इकोनॉमिक होना पड़ेगा, 100% ऐसा प्रोजेक्ट लाना पड़ेगा कि प्रॉफिट देता हो, कम से कम 20% का प्रॉफिट दे। IRR 20% से कम नहीं, संभव नहीं है। तो जो पॉसिबल है, क्यों नहीं पॉसिबल है? डायमंड कितना सबसे कॉस्टलीस्ट मटेरियल क्या है धरती पे? डायमंड है। तो हमने ये सोचा है कि 20% सिन गैस से, माने मीथेन से 20% से डायमंड बनाएंगे और 80% से ग्रेफाइट बनाएंगे। सो दोनों प्रोसेस वेल एस्टेब्लिश्ड है। हमने IIT बम्बई से कांटेक्ट किया है, वो हमारा नॉलेज पार्टनर रहेंगे। IIT बम्बई और हम लोग मिलके उसको, इस प्रोजेक्ट को लाएंगे। और हम लोग अभी ये स्केलेबल, केवल एक ही प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है कि स्केल कैसे बढ़ाया जाए। दैट मीन्स कि अभी जो मीथेन से जो ग्रेफाइट बन रहा है वो कम स्केल पे बन रहा है, उसको कैसे बड़ा स्केल पे किया जाए, मतलब 10 मिलियन टन के स्केल पे किया जाए। और मीथेन से जो डायमंड है उसको कैसे बड़ा स्केल पे किया जाए। दैट्स, यही 2 चैलेंज बचा है जो कि हमको लगता है सॉल्व कर लेंगे हम लोग। और इसमें कोई हम लोग नॉमिनेशन या इसमें किसी में नहीं जा रहे हैं, सिंपल हम लोग ओपन टेंडर करेंगे। और शुरू में हम थोड़ा छूट दे देंगे कि ठीक है भाई, आपको वर्किंग कैपिटल या प्रीवियस एक्सपीरियंस आपको नहीं भी होने से चलेगा, आप करिए, स्टार्ट कीजिए। सो ये प्रोसेस में हम लोग जा रहे हैं, और इसमें हमको आशा है कि यदि ये सक्सेस हो गया तो ये बहुत बड़ा रिवॉल्यूशन होगा, और एक बहुत बड़ा हमारा जो देश में जो इतना दिन से जो हम कोयला को केवल जला के काम कर रहे हैं, वो हम उससे हटेंगे और कोयला को रियल वैल्यू जो है, उसका जो डायमंड वैल्यू है, उसको हम पहचानेंगे और कार्बन को अलग करेंगे, हाइड्रोजन को अलग करेंगे और उस हाइड्रोजन से हम हाइड्रोजन इकोसिस्टम बनाएंगे. सो दिस इज दी ऑल MCL की तरफ से. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you. So we have time हो गया डिस्कशन के लिए. कुछ था इश्यू, we can should we continue for that or go for lunch discussion? Okay, one or two questions we can. 10 minutes का for discussion.
मेरा नाम रविंद्रनाथ पाड़ी, जियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया से रिटायर्ड. Electrical vehicles will need lithium, and for mining lithium, जो कुछ हम लोग equipments use करेंगे, that will generate much more greenhouse gases, which are more dangerous to health. And number one. Number two, as far as this carbon dioxide panicking situation is being created by environmentalists, I don't believe in that. Lot of carbon dioxide was being generated by Earth into the Earth's atmosphere through volcanoes. They were all sinking into the oceans as limestone. Plants came much later. Plants take very little carbon dioxide to convert into the carbohydrates. And carbon dioxide content during the dinosaurs' time was 13,000 parts per million. You were counting at 420. You go on reducing carbon dioxide, nothing will happen. The temperature will never come down because we are passing through an interglacial period. Next 5,000 years, 5 billion years, it will be hot and hotter. We will have to live with these hot conditions, and those who cannot survive this, they will all die out. And this has happened over 5 times on Earth's history when there were mass extinctions. Thank you.
It is your opinion. Eh?
My question is for our friend from GSI, Geological Survey of India. This is about manganese ore resources. We have discussed at the inauguration time that in our steel vision 2017, we are going for 300 million ton. We have already crossed 150. So in another 7-8 years time, 300 million ton, and we need about 10 kg. My total experiences are in the steel authority mines, and in that background I am asking, and in NMDC. So we require about 10 kg of manganese for refining as well as for alloy making. With these resources, the consumption will last only some 50 years or 60 years. So, because the resources total, as per UNFCCC classification, United Nations framework, it is 300 odd million ton. So, we need either extra resource by exploration, or we have to scout from the foreign country, develop manganese block and do mining and cheaper mining and bring it back. So something has to be done by GSI, MECL and other exploration agency. Would I like to hear your reaction for this?
Hello. We know we are not self-sufficient in manganese. It is not. It is just we are barely there. And but manganese as of now has not been declared as a critical mineral in the list of 30. So there is a gap. We are not we have a huge thrust on critical minerals per se, which includes copper. Copper is not in the Schedule D, as someone said. It's not in Schedule D, but still, copper is one of the most important critical mineral for us. So we're focusing on this 30. Manganese is not there. But having said that, we must say we take up many projects of manganese every year. So though we don't have a special thrust, as you're saying, we must have a thrust. I will take that. This point is well taken. We will consider this in our programs. But we are not, special thrust is not there, but we take about how much, Jana will be able to say, about 15 to 20 programs on manganese exploration every year. Andhra Pradesh, two blocks have been put on for auction as well. Two has been put on auction as well.
Sir, I must thank Dr. Bagchi, Joyce Bagchi, that you have given a very good presentation. One of my request is that your geophysical presentation is never made in the SGP. Because geophysical, whether
You're
ground or aerogeophysical, it is never made in the SGPP.
You're correct.
Because it is controlled from the central, eastern region headquarters. Can you please make it presentation?
Well taken. I will ensure.
Make it sure that all the SGPV every time it is presented in the SGPV meeting here. This is what I think as PPM, DDG or ADG, you can take it over. Okay?
It is done.
Okay, thank you.
Dr. Bhakti, I have one suggestions relating to this, the manganese. Can you just enlighten us? Ocean has huge manganese nodules. If GSI is doing something
Yes,
on,
we are.
on doing the exploration, certain pockets have been found out.
Yes, we
And
have.
what is the state of now going for extraction?
Extraction, I can say, but yes, we have identified manganese nodules on the Andaman coast. We have identified blocks. We have put those blocks on auction as well in the offshore auction, but they are still on the preliminary G4 stage. So we are expecting a private.
No, there is a topic on that.
Okay, then I leave it on that. But I can say we have already earmarked blocks which has put on auction. But we are in a very preliminary stage. We are expecting private players to come and take up the challenge. But extraction as of now is a challenge world over. So it's not only India, but yes, NIOT has developed some instrumentation for bring it on the surface. But that's about it. Thank you.
Namaskar. Myself Sachin Tonge from Vedanta. About 51% of bauxite is in Odisha. But in your presentation, only one block is auctioned.
That's incidental. Only one is auctioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are waiting when you are from GSI side. I
am not in charge of auctioning. That's Minister of Mines. We do give blocks for auctioning. I think Jana will say.
I will that answer. This auction of bauxite in Odisha have been already completed. And all the major aluminum industries, they have also taken steps for that. But the question is, in bauxite auction, there are so many other issues. And which I think in this meeting we cannot talk. One aspect I'll tell you, that is cost of bauxite auction is getting higher. Why it is getting higher? And that makes bauxite mining costlier.
That is okay, sir. I am asking, as per you, maximum means auction blocks are covered in Odisha for bauxite. 51% of the bauxite of India is in Odisha.
Okay.
And is it 100% explored? That I am asking.
No.
Is it 100% explored?
No, the it is not.
No, that is not, sir. If it is there, 51%, 50% of India's bauxite is in Odisha. So that means everything is covered. It is explored, 100% explored. or some part is there that we can again explore and again go?
The issue is of auctioning, right? You want blocks which are
Not
No,
auctioning,
Wait,
not
no,
auctioning.
no, wait. Let me understand what you're saying. You are saying there are.
Is it
there are-
explored, 100% explored?
Yes, we have identified all the bauxites in Odisha for sure.
Okay, that only I am
But,
asking.
but question is whether there are blocks which can be put up for mining, because many of it, I don't know, most of it is with NALCO as of now. So,
Only one. No. See, I will answer that question. State government, other deposits, which were their small deposits, they have been already surveyed by State Department. They have been assessed. You can ask the state government about that smaller bauxite deposit. Major bauxite deposits were explored by MEC, GSI, and State Directorate. That report of what was published in 82, 83, 84, that is the last report. Thereafter, some exploration has been done by private agencies. Some have been done by NALCO, and those auctionable blocks have been already auctioned. There are some auctions, it is coming in forest area, some other in consideration. So government has not gone for that. I think bauxite, I think we have got lot of bauxite, and unless people want to have bauxite, or government wants to release bauxite, there is some equation that is happening.
Okay,
We not.
thank you.
That's a problem. You know.
we are not a man of auctioning, so I don't know.
No, I was just asking about the exploration. Sir,
No,
told
smaller deposits, about 30 smaller deposits have been explored by State Directorate. All informations are available. Then those blocks nobody wants to take. Who will take? Even if 2 or 3 small blocks were given to private parties, because of local constraints, it could not be worked.
Excuse me. Sir, myself, I am Subhranshu Ray, retired from Geological Survey of India. My question is to Mr. Arun Rath. You touched upon two very important points. That's technological disruption and recycling. About 3-4 years back, I was listening to one expert. He said that by 2045, we will be producing steel only through recycling. So, are you going to stop all the mining? First question. Then another question is, well, the next one is, last week I read one very interesting article that Chinese have developed fast technology that you may be knowing, that in they are producing iron 3,600 times faster than the conventional methods. Because in normal blast furnaces, it takes about 6 to 8 hours to produce the iron ore, but they are producing it in 3 to 6 seconds. So if that becomes feasible, then what will happen to all our steel plants? Your take on that, sir.
So thank you. Actually, that is the reason why I use, this is the era of disruption. I think he also told ki if you are developing EV, tomorrow hydrogen comes, what happens to EV? So steel technology, if you look at the steel technology, you see ways back in 50s, the technology basic oxygen converter came. Before that, it was open earth furnace. It was taking more than 24 hours to make one batch of steel. This came to 60 minutes. And first in Asia, it was established in Rourkela. This is called least Donawitz process. After that, the disruption has not happened. Only the scale up. Like earlier steel plant, people are making 1 million ton. Now you will not see 1 million ton. Now the blast furnaces are coming 3, 4, 5. Only the scale up has come, the economics has developed, but technology has remained same. Because of the automation, efficiency has come, energy efficiency has come, the technology has not changed. I mean, now the challenge is something different. So that's why, like Chinese, you have told, our promoter Nippon has also developed certain things. Everybody is developing in their laboratory because of competitive advantage. Tomorrow some breakthrough will happen, which will be again coming commercially, and things will change the whole technology. That is your answer of second question. First question is, that was the last thought, I put it on the thought, ki we are talking of mines, conversion of ore to steel, and think of the world is full of steel which has to be recycled, and conversion of recycles to steel will be going to be cheaper. The market will take care of it. What is cheaper? Definitely. So we are at a disadvantaged position if we are looking at the future. The ore to steel conversion will be costlier, but certain steel cannot be made from recycled steel. Again, the value added, the alloys, the very pure steel can come from the ore. So that is something challenge I wanted to put it to the people. Thank you.
I think we have crossed 20 minutes. Now we have to hurry up for the lunch. Hey, कहाँ गए?
Thank you, Dr. Mohanty, and all the speakers for sharing their views and knowledge. Now, I would like to request Dr. Mohanty, the chairperson of the session, to present the mementos to the speaker of the session. Sir, please. Now we take a break for lunch and will gather back at 2:30 p.m. The lunch